I'm not afraid of everything. I'm afraid of very few things.
Like what?
Illness, death.
Yeah. How'd you get peace of mind out of the other shit?
Well, when I was this is a weird thing that happened to me when I was young.
Yeah.
I don't know if this means anything.
Let's try it.
I remember it, but it was a moment I had that was it wasn't religious or epinaphic or anything, but it transformed me to some degree. Is that I was fucking so afraid of everything, and if I went to a store, I'd have to walk around forever before I could even face a person in the store to buy a pack of gum. I don't know why the fuck I was like this.
Yeah.
But anyways, when I was 9. There was we lived in rural Ontario, and there was a blind friend of my dad's that I had to, he said, take him to the store. I was like, what the fuck? Like, I have to take this blind fucker? And I'm already shy and shit. So I'm taking him to the store, and then the fucker wants me to explain everything, describe everything to him.
Yeah.
So I'm like, there's some grass over here, and now there's a lamppost, and this guy's all happy. Oh, what about the lamppost? I mean, it's just a lamppost.
Yeah.
So it goes on and on, but something happened to me it sounds bizarre, but something happened to me where I was actually, instead of always looking inward, which I think I'd always done before that one time, I was looking outward. Anyways, while I was talking to him, I suddenly had a sort of a hysteria, like I was laughing. I started laughing and stuff. And I don't even know why I'm remembering this, but I started laughing about everything. And everything seemed like very, very funny to me. And then a couple of weeks later, I saw a homeless guy, and he was talking about, he started talking to me.
Yeah.
And he was talking to me about John D. Rockefeller. He's like, I was at John D. Rockefeller's funeral.
Yeah.
And all this shit.
Yeah.
And I was laughing at him and shit. And then he started laughing. And I was like, it's all fucking crazy shit. Like, something came to me.
Yeah.
Where I started, and so now I find everything funny except like fucking real serious. Like, I'm no fear of going on stage or anything about death and shit.
Right.
And so, but the other thing but the problem with laughing is I will get, it will build to a hysteria sometimes that I have to crank a couple of benzos to prevent a panic attack.
You really?
Yeah, I can get panic attacks.
You can laugh yourself into an anxiety attack?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. I start laughing and then it gets out of control, like hysterical. It's and I still have extreme sensitivity to things. I always go by eyes.
Again?
I always go by eyes.
You should.
And it's
what if someone's blind?
It's not sexual. It's not only sexual.
What if someone's blind?
My dad knew a blind man. And my dad was in the war. He was a double generation older than I. He had me when he was 50. So he was in.
That explains a lot.
He was in the great one. And all his friends were old.
Right.
And so.
Wayne Gretzky?
He had
That's a good joke.
So he had a blind friend, and he come over. And my dad said, do you want a Coke, Elmer? RC Cola. Oh, God damn. We don't got no RC Cola. We got Coca-Cola, the gold standard.
Right.
And this blind bastard wants an RC. So go down to Avonmore, pick up an RC. That's a 1.5 mile walk.
Right.
So I walk with this blind son of a bitch. And he says to me, he wants me to describe everything. So I said, okay, well, on the left there's some cows lowing, and, there's a fence. He goes, is it like a wood that's near petrified? I said, yes, it is. And how big is it? 3 feet. I said, John Neil Margerison used to own this land. He said, I don't want to hear that. He says, just tell me what is. And so all of a sudden, I saw things as they were. Well, I was very young, but I'll never forget that. Because I had to see, for this blind man, I had to see and describe not my opinions,
Right.
So when I went by John Neil Margerison's house a half a quarter later,
right,
I didn't mention John Neil or anything. I just described the house,
right,
because that's all he wanted to see. And then I began to realize that life is what is, not what you think it is, or not even what it appears to be sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
But I think you would agree that your life or my life is just a series of facts, a series of incidents. It's not what you dream or hope or believe. It's what you do.
I would say the exact opposite.
What do you think it is?
First of all, you mean to tell me this does not end with we suddenly realize, why the hell are we getting this blind man a different brand? That's not the punchline?
Oh, no, there's no punchline.
Oh, my God. I thought I was being...
Yeah, that was
Didn't you see a million miles away?
1,000%.
Why are we getting a different brand Coke for a blind man? That's not where we're going?
Well, he didn't. His sense of taste was expanded. He doesn't drink it through his eyes.
I guarantee you could fool a blind person with an off-brand Coke.
A blind man felt Princess Diana's face last week and said she is the prettiest woman I've ever seen. He then picked up a toilet plunger and said, "Thank you for this royal scepter. I shall treasure it always."
No, I used to hang out with Norm MacDonald a lot. Me and Norm were really close.
God, I loved him.
And we used to go play tennis. And after we'd play tennis, we'd go into like the 7-Eleven. And we'd always do this thing where we go, okay, we're going to go in together. And each of us has to point at one item and make a joke about it. And it was really hard. Like,
so hard.
like people think making jokes as a comedian is easy, but it's not. But I'll never forget Norm did this. It's the only one I remember. But I pointed to, you remember those things, animal crackers?
Yeah.
And I pointed to the animal crackers, and Norm just goes, that horse cock didn't taste very good.
There's a lot of guys who sort of all of a sudden are like real big
Everyone's
players.
doing
Norm.
well,
Norm
yeah.
got his own TV show.
Norm's doing well. What?
What?
Do you hang out with Norm, or is it impossible?
It's pretty impossible because he's crazy.
He is.
In L.A., I call him and he goes, I go, what happened last week? I called you to go on. You called me? And I go, yeah. On my phone? I go, yeah. And he goes, oh, yeah, I got that. I go, well, you didn't call me back? No.
And he's serious.
Yeah, he's crazy.
And yeah, I know. Like, I have him on the
I
show.
love him, though. He's the funniest guy around. I think you need to be kind of crazy to be really funny.
He is very funny. I love him, too. And he has a gambling problem, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was telling us
That's no
how
secret.
he was all excited that he had $80,000. He won $80,000 in Vegas, but he had lost like $100,000 on basketball.
Right.
And that's on nickel slots. That's how serious he is.
Did you always know he had a gambling problem?
Mm-hmm.
You did. When did you know that? At Saturday Night Live?
I first knew he had a pee in a bottle problem.
Right.
Remember that? You always talk about
Yeah, it's
that.
great.
And then I knew...
Does he still save his urine? Do you know?
I don't know. He used to put it in Ziploc baggies, sign it, and send it to fans.
Is that true?
No.
Oh.
But he did. He would take... After Saturday Night Live, they give you a car, a limousine, if you want to go to the party, and he would take it to Atlantic City.
Really?
He's a hard ass. He's hardcore, dude. I
know he'll even get
do
into fistfights.
And then he'll stay at a table for hours and hours.
What do you think of that?
I feel lucky.
And then you don't even know if he's married or single. It's never really clear.
I don't know, but I know girls like him. He's when you're something's that wrong, they pick up on it and like it.
They like the tragedy of that.
Fixer-upper, yeah.
Right. Yeah, I'm gonna make him a regular guy.
Right, but it never worked.
So one time I had to open up for him this was at a casino. We were doing like a casino gig in Shawnee, Oklahoma. Wow. And Cherokee Creek Casino, I think. And it could have, I don't know, this cool lady that I think maybe tried to make love to somebody, but she also helped us get the gig. And Norm was fucked up. I think that when he went on after me, and like I don't even think for the first 7 minutes, I don't even think he said anything, right? But the crazy part was the next day, we had to play cards too the next day. You had to like be there for the weekend, you know. So we go to the card tables, and Norm's like, man, there's a lot of good pussy in here. and I don't know him really well. So I'm thinking, I'm looking around this room, bro. There is 0 attractive women, right? There's 0 attractive men. Okay, so it's not, even if you wanted some ass pussy, there's nothing. Yeah, it's a casino, and it's a gambling game. It's poker.
Yeah.
5-card poker. So. And I'm just thinking, well, I guess I just agree with him. He's getting older, and maybe he has a different perception of what's attractive. And I'm like, yeah, man, there sure is. He goes, fuck no, there isn't. Like, he had played me, like he was like, this is the ugliest batch of people I've ever seen.
I don't know if Norm still tours. You'd be a good compliment for Norm, man.
You don't think I'm too much, too similar?
I don't know. I think it'd be funny.
Jeez, he's my hero.
I think it'd be work. Yeah,
I'd be blown away.
Yeah, the guy's amazing.
Never met him.
Very funny. It's such an impressive stand-up to see live.
Yeah.
Because you think right before he goes on, I opened up for him for about a year, and after we did Dirty Work, and then he always think like no matter where you are, you think like he's not going to make it. Like he goes, he's holding his stomach. He goes, I can't do this, man. I'm not going to make it here. I don't want to go on. I don't want to go on. I want to quit. Like, he'll be fine. He'll be fine. And you got to push him in front of the microphone. And then he does an hour and 45 and destroys. Doesn't take the mic out like this, and then he just leaves.
Yeah. I saw him at Caroline's when I was broke. I was poor. I wasn't even in the club, so I had to pay the real fee. I couldn't be like, I'm a comic. They didn't know me.
I know. And you mean the fair prices over there too?
Yeah, right. I spent like $70.
That's great when you're broke.
Yeah. And I went and saw him, and he was killing, and he got heckled in the middle of the show, and he's drinking a Coca-Cola, and he just goes, it's dead silent, this tension, like, what's he gonna say? And he just goes, I don't know what to do about that, And then he goes back to the act. I've never seen anyone handle a heckle like that.
I don't know what to do. Yeah. Now sometimes I just go,
Funniest guy on the planet.
No, he really is. He's up there. He's very, very funny. He's a fun guy to talk. See, doing the road with a guy like that is fun for the late night conversations that last till 6 a.m. About show business, about who he hates.
Yeah.
Like you start talking about who you hate.
Yes.
Oh, it's fantastic.
That's the funnest stuff.
Oh, and who sucks and who you hate and this and that and the other thing, and then of course
Norm stories.
I got 2 good Norm stories.
Good.
My first comedy club gig ever is in Catch a Rising Star, Princeton. And Norm MacDonald, this is 1990 or 91. Norm's done a few local talk shows in America, small time, but he hasn't made it in America. He's kind of got a little following, but now he's starting to headline in America at comedy clubs. This is at a time where in New Jersey, if you weren't telling dirty nursery rhymes wearing a leather jacket, you weren't really interesting to anybody. But here's Norm, this goofy Canadian accent, really telling these long, weird bits for 8 shows. And he probably bombed 3 out of 8 shows. Whenever he killed, he would kill, when it was a sophisticated crowd, he would get him and he would kill. He would just go backstage, he'd pull out a deck of cards, and he'd make me and Rich Voss play poker with him. When he bombed, Norm would go to the exit and say goodbye to every single person who left. Just to be weird and make us laugh and be awkward for the people. He would thank everyone for coming after he bombed.
Serious?
He was such a nut.
I love that. That's a committed person. But that's what I love.
You were Norm's assistant?
And I was Norm's assistant, and I wish I could go back to those days.
You got any Norm stories?
Yeah, I hear this is my best Norm story.
Yeah.
So I went to the guys would take me out, like Keckner and Norm and Spade, and they're all fucking gems, really, really nice guys. They were always so nice to me, and I think they liked having me around because I was a young kid, and I would laugh, and I was just in fucking heaven. So they take me out. They took me out one night, and they were getting drunk and whatever. And so I meet this Australian girl, and we go back, fool around, whatever. And I come into work the next day, and I turn to Norm, and I go, I'm gonna tell you something, man. I go, and don't tell anybody. And he goes, oh, yeah, I won't tell anybody, And I go, last night, with this girl, the girl at the bar, she goes, she snorted cocaine off my cock. Like that. And I was like, I know, I'm 20 years old or whatever, and I'm I couldn't believe it. I'm in the city for the first time, you know what I mean? Yeah. And he goes, wow. He goes, oh my God, that's crazy. cocaine after your cock. And I go, but don't tell anybody, you know, 'cause I don't want anyone to know. Like, and so then maybe like, I don't know, 5 minutes later, the fucking UPS guy comes in, you know, with the packages or whatever. And he's like, oh, hey, Daryl. And he's like, hey, Norm, how you doing? He's like, hey, you see this guy right here? Guy likes to get cocaine snorted off his cock. And I was like, you know, now I wouldn't be embarrassed, but I'm fucking mortified. I'm like, I'm going to get fired. And he did it. He did it for like 3 months.
To everybody.
At any point, like I'd be standing there with the jokes. He'd be like, Jason, go get the jokes. And he'd be smoking in the hallway, and he'd be like, no. Because, you know, he fucking had like a really high bar for jokes. Like, fuck that. I'd be like, oh my God. And then there'd be like a page standing next to him. He'd be like, hey, you know, Jason? Guy likes to have cocaine snorted off his cock. So fucking funny. He did it to my mom. He said it to my mom once.
No.
Yeah. And then I remember because the other part of the job was that I would work the door at the parties. And my mom came down for the party.
At the after party.
The after party.
Yeah.
And she, and I was trying to keep Norm away from my mom so he wouldn't say that to my mom. And of course he goes, you know, Jason likes to have cocaine. Snorted off his cock. And my mom was great. She goes, well, I bet you do a lot of weird stuff too, Norm.
Can you share some of the stuff?
With Norm?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That you have with Norm?
It was just, he reached out. He was a big, when people were going through it, Norm was one of the guys that would always reach out. And yeah, that was it. Just reached out. He sent me some cool stuff about like, funny will win.
Yeah.
That was the coolest shit ever.
Yeah.
Yeah,
he
that's
was
amazing.
like, there's a war right, I don't want to spill the beans on a nice thing, but it was like,
You guys had a private thing.
yeah, it was cool.
But
and
he
it
was
ended,
very supportive when
yeah,
you were going
he
through your
spoke
stuff.
like poetically.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
Yeah.
And it ended, one of the messages ended with like, in a war for comedy, I think the ones with jokes will win. I was just like, yo,
Yeah.
That's fire.
Norm MacDonald is king.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he
amazing.
in no way has to do that.
No.
You know what I mean?
No.
To reach out, you know, especially at that time, I thought was really cool.
It was 2 years ago. I mean, he had,
Yeah, as he's battling something, no disrespect,
Yes.
way worse.
yeah.
You know what I mean? He's like, hey,
Yeah.
you need help?
I was with Adam Egget most of the time in Austin. The guy, you know Adam?
Yeah. From
And-
the store, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So me and Adam went to the Cowboys-Eagles game, and we were hanging out, and the whole time, because he was best friends with Norm.
Yeah.
So he was like going through it, but he went through it the same way as like we just talked like Norm the whole time. Like the whole game, we were like, he must have. Yeah, he got hit pretty hard. You know what's worse than getting hit like that? Blood cancer. It's no good, that blood cancer. Just like that the whole time. It was great. I hope that wasn't sharing too much for Adam.
Nah.
But it was fun. Norm's the best.
Yeah.
Well, it was, but he died of fucking. Oh, right. I forgot he fucking vanished.
Yeah.
Norm.
Yeah.
Classic.
Nah, he's a fucking man.
I remember it was me, him. He came to. I think he was doing a show with Spade in Irvine, and I went to go watch, and he came we went like by the dumpster afterwards, and it was me, him.
Oh, I know what you're talking about outside. There's
Yeah.
that little outside area where you park. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it was. There was one other person there. I don't remember who was there. So he said, bro, you want to get stoned? I went, nah, man. I stopped. He goes, what? Jesus Christ. Fucking guy from Hip Baked. You can't fucking stop getting high. The fuck you dying about? He was so angry that I didn't want to get high. He was so pissed.
He was genuinely pissed.
The fuck is that? Who the fucking bro? You gonna fucking get high? Jesus Christ! The fuck is he's trying to get? Jesus Christ, bro! What the fuck? He was so he judged me now, and no. I stopped for a while, man.
You're like,
That's
I
all.
smoked it all.
I did everything.
I smoked as much as I
I
could.
beat the shit out of marijuana.
Yeah, dude.
Hard.
Yeah, I think
For
you
what?
won.
One hitters. I was crushing it. I'm meeting Vaughn years before, talking about punching elephants in the nuts. Been there, done that.
I did it. Yeah.
I would go down to the comedy club, and I remember Norm MacDonald would come through, and he was probably 25 years old, right? And I'm 16 in the audience, and then I got to become this huge fan of Norm, and he was Norm. But back then, there wasn't a lot of people doing stand-up like Norm. Like there wasn't this sort of angle of sort of this absurdity to it, this sort of it was more of a structured, down the middle way of doing stand up back then, and so Norm was this sort of, you know, it
was a curveball.
Yeah, this sort of curveball, and we just couldn't get enough of it. So every time we was in town, we'd be down there. But Howard Wagman told me this story about Norm, and you know, the first time he came down to do stand up at Yuck Yucks in Ottawa, and he got off stage and he was disappointed in how it went. Norm was. He said, "I'm never doing this again." He walked down the street. Howard Wagman chased him down Spark Street in Ottawa and said, "No, that was great. You're coming back." And he made him come back, and the rest is history.
I was on a plane with him accidentally twice.
Nice.
Twice.
That must have been amazing.
Twice on two separate occasions. Just totally random. We sat next to each other on the plane. I'm like, whoa, this is crazy.
Yeah.
And the last one, it was so funny because he was telling me about how he quit smoking. Yeah, I quit smoking. It's fucking, turns out it's real bad for you. Like, this whole thing about quitting smoking. And we're talking about it, like, how hard was it to quit? This whole thing. The moment we land, he walks into the gift shop, buys a pack of cigarettes, and he's lighting them before he gets out the door.
Yeah.
And I go, "I thought you quit." He goes, "I did, but all that talking about it made me want to smoke."
Yeah, it's probably all an elaborate setup, right? He probably was planning it the whole way.
I don't know.
Who knows? He probably doesn't even smoke. He was just doing it as a gag. No, he was.
Did you know he was sick?
I didn't know.
No, me either. You said you had two stories. There was what's the other one?
Oh, so he'd invite me over to SNL once in a while to play poker on off nights, on Monday nights or something, and to watch him play poker while watching Monday Night Football and a baseball game. Like, he was a gambler,
right?
And I guess somehow one time I found myself on a tape night on a live SNL. I'm in the hallway with a bunch of pages, writers, you know, basically plus ones filling out the hallway. I don't know if you know, I'm sure you've been up there enough to know that where the reception is, there's a lot of hubbub.
Right.
You can go to the dressing rooms this way, and to the right is the studio, and you know, makeup, and there's a lot going on.
Yeah.
I believe Rosie O'Donnell was hosting SNL, and her very best friend Penny Marshall was there to support her. Penny Marshall, at the height of her movie director swag, is walking through the hallway with her head down, sunglasses on, baseball hat, doesn't want to be bothered, treating all these basically writers and NBC employees and me and Norm as big timing us, pretending we're just looky-loos out on the street, right? Just doing a celebrity don't bother me moment.
Flyby.
Flyby, thank you. And Norm picks up on it, and he just starts pointing and screaming, "Laverne! Laverne! Laverne!" And she didn't look up. She never knew it was Norm. She's just gone. You know?
Oh, my gosh.
And, of course, the whole hallway's falling down. Like,
I wonder if he's doing it.
He did Last Comic Standing. He was the only honest judge. He would tell comics they were hacks. It was awesome. The comics hated him. Joe List did it, and he goes, "Joe, you're a very good writer." And Anthony Jeselnik goes, "Hey, Joe, that Norm just called you ugly," which is such a great line.
Damn.
But, oh, my God.
I met him twice, and the first time I met him was I was doing this comedy-style competition at Caroline's, and it was the Final Four. It was me, Dan Soder, who eventually beat me in the final two. It was me, Soder, Nick Cobb, and Adam Newman.
Wow.
And Norm MacDonald was just chilling in the crowd, watching.
Damn.
And he couldn't have been nicer. He was so freaking nice to all of us.
Yeah.
Complimenting our acts, being like, "Man, I could never do this type of thing," you know.
Ah.
So cool. And then the other time I met him was on Last Comic Standing when he was a judge, and I got eliminated in the first round. I had a pretty good set, better than a lot of people who moved on, but it's NBC. Let's face it.
That's how it goes.
But I remember I had one joke that Norm singled out and goes, "That joke is gold." And that to me was like, it was to me, I didn't even feel that bad. I got locked off because I was like, Norm MacDonald, who is the judge that I connected to his work the most. It was Roseanne and Keenan. I connect to Roseanne's politics, of course, but no. But it was Roseanne and Keenan Ivory Wayans, and like obviously I love In Living Color, but Norm, I'm a comic. Norm was the guy I connected with, and the joke he loved was I said, you know, my last girlfriend was a hoarder and she broke up with me, which stings extra hard. I'm like the one thing she can get rid of. And he said he loved that joke. And then Keenan kind of digged me in the last comic thing. He said, I like some of your jokes, but not all of them. And I said, well, I loved all your scary movie films. And it got a huge laugh. And he said, I only did the first 2. And I was like, all right. I remember I saw Norm in like the food.
Yeah.
He couldn't let it pass. He couldn't take the L on that one. I knew I was out after that.
Right.
And then I'm walking through the thing. It was like a break. I guess they were taking a break, the paid audience. And I see Norm and he goes, I really like that you dug it.
Oh.
So that was a special moment.
He's
For
the
sure.
real deal. He really is.
Yeah, I think he could tell. And I said I met you once at Caroline's, and I told him I really.
I was there for one of the greatest Norm moments in comedy history. I think he was kicked. He was kicked out of Nebraska.
That sounds realistic.
And you can maybe look it up later. Where it says Norm Macdonald was kicked out of the state by the governor, and he went on Letterman to talk about it. And I want to say it was like 1996 because I just finished my first year at SNL. It was 95, so it was the summer of 96. And I remember going on tour. There you go. You saw it. Go down. Yeah, kicked out of Iowa. That's me talking about it.
Okay.
But anyway.
Should we look on a video or should we look on a story?
Don't look at that. I want to see the real. There has to be a headline.
How Norm Macdonald got kicked out of Iowa?
Yes.
Okay.
Gazette. There you go. Okay. All right. So many were disgusted. Some were delighted. So he's supposed, now you understand something. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
This is the first time me touring with a star.
Okay.
We go to the airport and people are like, oh my God, you're Norm Macdonald. I'm like, wow, this is everywhere we went. Oh my God, you're Norm Macdonald. We show up at the university. He's like, I got to go golfing with the fucking governor tomorrow. They made me fucking golf. Fucking governor.
Yeah, what is that game where you fucking hit the
right?
thing?
So I'm like, he's with a governor. This is huge. Who gets to say that? So it's me, Daryl Hammond, and him.
And you both you guys went?
We're on the
sorry.
gig.
Okay.
We're going out. He's telling us.
Hammond, yes.
And so we get to the gig, and is packed. And they go, now listen, there's kids here, and there's students and alum and the dean and all these people here. So
that's the worst.
They're like, yeah, clean. I get it. No worries. I go, we're in Sunny Lake. He goes, that's why we got you guys, because you're used to live TV. Blah, blah. So Daryl goes up first, does his 20 minutes, does impressions, does his comedy. Hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
I go up, do my 20, feel great, crush it. Norm goes up. I'm not even exaggerating. The first thing he says, he goes up, he goes, look, I'm preparing. I'm like, this is going to launch my career. Are you kidding me? This is going to be huge. I'm going to be all. He goes, fucking, where the fuck are we? First person to even curse. Right? I went, oh, shit, he cursed. And he goes, so if you're gay, would you rather be the ass guy or the dick guy? This is what he starts off with. So I go, Daryl, you gotta come see this. And he's going, and he won't stop. He's like,
Daryl's just being depressed in the back.
Because if you're the ass guy, why do you want to be the ass guy? Oh, first of all, he's going on. People are grabbing their kids, running up the aisle. I never saw a place clear out. It looked like a fire alarm was going off. But the college students were staying, and they were howling with laughter. And one thing, and then in the middle, after about 15 minutes, he goes, Jesus Christ, what do you want? You want fucking airplane jokes? You want fucking 7-Eleven jokes? Jesus Christ, fuck out of here. So the next day, in the paper, USA Today or the Gazette, they're like, Norm Macdonald's out.
Wow.
Governor wants him out of the state.
Governor wants him.
Get out of my state. But to witness that.
To have someone like that appreciate what you, especially because my story with Norm is not, it doesn't start out great,
because I did Last Comic Standing in 2000 and whatever. It never aired. And I did my joke, and I did well, and it was him. It was Damon Wayans and Roseanne.
Yeah.
And Roseanne liked me. Damon Wayans, like, he was like not. He was just like, yeah. He just like smiled and laughed. I think he said right on. I don't know what he was just like barely there. Like he wasn't. I don't remember anything either way. And then Norm was like, how many years have you been doing comedy? I'm like, 4. He's like, what? It takes 10 years to be a comedian. What are you doing here? I was like, ah. And I remember that was the biggest gut punch I got in stand-up. And I remember being at the Hilton by where they shoot all those shows. By where is that? Universal City?
Yeah.
That area?
Yeah.
I was in the Hilton and I was just like I couldn't even eat. I was like, this is horrible. And I spoke to one of the comics I was staying with at that point. And he was like, Last Comic Standing. He's like, you go in there and they pay legends to tell you not to do what you love, which is kind of what. But I got over it. I kept doing it. And then he became a fan of us later on and a lot of shit we were doing. And he was right. You know, I was a 4-year, 5-year comic then. It's like, you do need more time to mature.
But he used to, speaking of Spade, when we did, we all staying at the hotel in Boston, this nice hotel, and one day we were just sitting in Spade's room because he had a big room, you know.
Yeah.
And we're all sitting there, and then suddenly the door rings, and it's like $800 worth of like steaks and stuff like that. And then Spade's like, I don't think I ordered this. No, goes, I ordered it. I figured you said you were hungry before. And he's like, eh. And he would do it all the time. Spade. And then Spade would just be like, so funny along, like, yeah, I don't know if I wanted to pay for everybody's eat. You know? Half these people I don't even know. Like, yeah, I figured, well, you're hungry. Everybody's probably hungry. You guys are hungry. You just be sitting there and you eat like the steak, like just cut it like, you know, like cartoon technique.
Yeah, right.
This is good steak.
With his oversized T-shirt.
And it would play off each other. Watching them was like one of the funniest things, like watching a TV show.
I was writing like bad sketch jokes my like first year in LA with a friend of mine at the Coffee Bean. I don't even think it's there anymore, across from the mall. And it's late and they're about to close down. And in walks Norm MacDonald. And the girl says to me, who I'm writing with, this girl that I worked with at a production company, she says to me, she goes, oh yeah, you know who that is, right? And I go, holy fuck, holy shit. And she goes, that's the Bob Dole guy. I go, the Bob Dole guy?
Oh, I would have ripped her eyes out.
I mean, I was like, it's fucking Norm MacDonald. And
Yeah.
she's like, no, I know, I forgot his name. I was like,
Oh,
what?
God.
So we sit there and I'm kind of fanboying out and I'm just kind of, you know, like not trying to face him and he's ordering coffee and I keep kind of looking over just to like, cause you just want to get a glimpse. Cause when I'm 22, I just moved to LA. I was like, fuck, holy shit, it's Norm MacDonald. He comes in there where the coffee is. He looks over. She's a pretty girl. Okay. And obviously doesn't see me at all. Doesn't know I exist. And he's kind of trying to talk her up a little bit. He's like, what are you guys doing? And she goes, oh, we're writing sketches. And he goes, oh yeah, I know a thing or two about sketches. And both of us were like, yeah, no, we know. Like, and I started stumbling. I'm like, no, I was a fan of your sketches, you know. And he goes, oh, okay. Well, I'm gonna go next door. I'm gonna get a Steinbeck novel. Barnes and Noble. There used to be a Barnes and Noble. He goes, yeah, I'm gonna get a Steinbeck novel. I'm laughing, thinking he's just making jokes. And he goes, I'll be back. Okay, I'll be back. And he walks out, and I'm like, whoa, how fucking cool was that? Hand to God. He comes back in with a Steinbeck novel, and sits down by us, and just starts talking.
Oh my God!
I swear on my life.
Oh my God!
It was almost like you started a Norm engine, and he just wanted to talk. So he just started talking and talking and talking and telling stories. And I shouldn't tell it like I don't want to fuck it up, but. The best story he told, I said, what was your most like secret fun thing that happened at SNL that like, you know, like what was some inside shit? And he goes, Smigel and I, Robert Smigel. If you don't know who Robert Smigel is, he's Triumph the Insult Comic Dog. He's the voice and the genius behind that. Smigel's a fucking phenomenal genius writer and comedian. He goes, Smigel and I, we used to write sketches for Tracy, because we knew Tracy Morgan. We knew Tracy, you know, he was bad in table reads. He couldn't read for shit. You know, he's a fucking stumble through words, you know? So one time we wrote this sketch that we knew was going to tank. Lauren hated it. And we showed it to Tracy anyway because we knew he had trouble reading. He had someone helping him read. He had bad time with S's. So we wrote this sketch about this guy. He's like a gay animal handler named Brian Fellows. Do you remember that sketch?
Yeah.
Brian Fellows? And he goes, if you look, the best part for us was it was Brian Fellows, 'S, Safari Planet. It was 3 S's in a row is the sketch that we pitched. So in the room, even though the sketch was bad, we knew Tracy would go, Brian Fellows, this is Brian Fellows, this is Safari Planet. And we knew we would crush in the room. He goes, and everybody lost it. He was like, the sketch was terrible. But Tracy would go, Brian Fellows, this is Safari Planet. And Norm goes, he goes, that is the funniest thing. We used to fuck with Tracy all the time. And dude, I was like, my heart was filled with comedy warmth. This is the most wild part. Again, I don't believe that this happened. To myself, I'm going, this is a lie. You're making this up.
Right.
But she's my proof. We walk out when they finally close the doors. After they're like, Mr. McDonald, you can stay. You know, the Coffee Bean kids are sitting just listening. We all walk outside, and he starts taking off, kind of headed north on La Cienega. And as a joke, my friend goes, do you want to ride? Are you walking? And he goes, no, I don't want to get in the car with you. And we start laughing, and he goes, okay, shotgun. And he comes and runs, sits in the front seat.
No.
I swear to God on my life.
Oh, my God.
Her car. I'm sitting in the back seat, and he's showing us where to go, and we drop him off at his house, and at this complex. And he gets out, and he kind of opens the door, and we didn't say anything the whole car ride.
Right.
We just listened to him going, left here, right here. And he gets out, and he turns and looks in the car, and all he said, he just goes, good luck, or whatever, and closes the door.
Wow.
Yeah. That was my Norm MacDonald moment in comedy.
I have so many Norm moments in my life. My first press conference with Norm was, they prepped us into like, you got to speak, and it's live, and it'll be BBC.
And he's a bigger star than you, so you have to sit there and kind of you have to be...
It was him and Spade right next to me.
So you have to be second fiddle at the moment, or were you?
Yeah, man. I just got. I'm the new kid on the block. We're all a new cast. It's an all new cast except for Spade, Tim Meadows, and Norm MacDonald.
Wow.
And we're like, whoa. And even looking at Norman Spade, I was like, oh, these guys are stars. Like, this is huge.
Yeah, I bet.
I'm really looking up to them. And the press conference go, and I dropped the ball right out of the bat. They asked me, the head of NBC who fought for me to be there, goes, Jim, what was it like growing up watching SNL? And now you're here, you're from New York, and now a fellow New Yorker. I said, I didn't watch SNL growing up. Well, you can hear. I was like, oh. I saw Laura. I went, oh, that was Spade went, so he said, and I knew right away, like, oh man, that was really bad. That was bad. And so he goes, I go, well, I wasn't allowed to because I was young. And he goes, well, what about when you were old? He's trying to prep me. He goes, surely when you got older and you were allowed to watch it. And I went, I was out on Saturdays. I wasn't watching TV. And and Norm's like, they're going to like you. They're going to like you. Yeah, this my guy. And he's smoking.
No way.
He's smoking, and Marcy Klein is going, no, put out the cigarette. He's like, I'm not done. This guy's going to get fired. So I think I'm going to get fired because I saw Lorne Michaels' face. He was pissed.
So you sitting there super nervous at this point?
I swear in my life, in my kids' lives, I thought I was going to get fired.
Damn.
Because I just basically said I don't watch Saturday Night Live.
Yeah.
And I never did. And
yeah, which is not
a good answer.
It's not the message.
In front of the press.
Yeah.
And I didn't say it in a mean manner, but I could just tell the boss man was like, oh, Jesus Lord. So now I'm sitting there thinking I'm going to get fired. Swear to God. And I'm just like, oh my God, I didn't even make it to the first episode. They're going to let me go. So this is what's going on in my head. There has to be a video of this press conference in the black market somewhere. I've looked for it, never found it. It's the 1995 press conference. And so they asked Norm, they go, Norm, you, Tim Meadows, David Spade, you've been here. You know the frat house. Everyone knows SNL is a frat house. What kind of practical jokes you got lined up for these new cast members? And I swear to you, I went, I'm not even going to be part of the frat house or the practical jokes.
Damn.
And Norm goes, first of all, he's annoyed. He goes, practical jokes? Is that what you asked? What kind of practical jokes? Well, first we were thinking about anal rape. You know? Like, hey, yeah, take your pants, we're gonna anally rape you. Welcome to Saturday Night Live. I'm going, oh shit, he's gonna get fired too. You can't say anal rape in front of the press. He said anal rape.
So suddenly you're like, I'm back in this.
I'm in it.
I'm good.
I'm good. And I went up to him after. I went, Nori's like, they don't give it. No one gives a shit, bro. Fuck these guys.
Yeah.
And I realized he would pitch at the pitch meeting. He just didn't care. He didn't care. And I learned so much from him. Just clearly he saw a lot and he's been there forever. Like he would, I remember he gathered the new cast up. He's like, I swear to God, he goes, hey, don't write me any of your gay sketches. He goes, I'll do it, and I'm telling you right now, when I do a sketch, it's getting you on. But don't put me in any of your gay little sketches. I swear to God, man. I also traumatized him. We would play football in the hallway because he was very competitive. He's always betting, and it was a very tiny hallway, maybe as wide as this, maybe. And he like, come on, bro, we're playing 3 a.m. Oh fucking, come on, we're playing football. Me, you, Colin Quinn, and fucking Justin, you fucking fuck the phone calls. No one's calling 3 a.m. Get in the fucking ball. Let's go. So. He would cheat, would piss me off because I'm competitive. And I'll never forget, he keeps cheating, and now I'm pissed.
How's
right?
he cheating? It's like a hallway. It's like a hospital hallway.
It's hallway, but he fucking cheat. He's
Right.
a cheater.
Yeah.
Right? So
yeah, he is a cheater.
I had boots on. So I had work boots on.
Yeah, because you're supposed to write in. Yeah.
I'm supposed to be riding fucking work boots on. I'm stoned. Like,
oh, the ink's heavy. Yeah.
So now he cheated. I caught the ball, and then he grabbed it and pulled it from me. He's like, hey, fumbled! And he starts running the other way. I'll never forget. I fucking kicked him as he's running in his calf. I went, pow! And he goes, ah! Jesus Christ, bro! Why did you fucking kick me in my fucking calf? I said, because you're cheating. So you fucking kick me? Ah! Jesus Christ. And all he did all week, he like, fucking kicked me in my calf? Because I took the fucking ball? Jesus Christ, bro.
And Spade just in the distance like,
Yeah, I had a good, and so those are the moments I loved more that stuff. You know, all of it was worth it. All of it was worth it.
A lot of people get these pictures or tattoos, like of me as Joe Dirt. They send you, a lot of people get a lot of tattoos of stuff, like things you say or photos or whatever. Or they send me ones of Farley or whatever. So this guy sends me he's got Norm of all morons on his hand, Norm MacDonald. So I text Norm. I just send it to him. I go, hey, you have fans. And then I put in parentheses, fan. All we know is for sure this one guy. Uh-huh. And then of course, like days later, David, hello, it's me, Norm. How are you? Have you ever texted with Norm?
No, I haven't. No.
Times 1,000. He just goes, he waits days, and then at 3 a.m, hello? I go, Norm, what are you doing? Are you answering me from 4 days ago? Is that what you're doing? Dave, it's Norm. Do you like money? Yes, Norm, I like money. Why? Would you like to have more money than all your wildest dreams? Yes, I would. And then an hour later, would you like to walk into a dealership and point to a car and then just buy it? I go, of course. How? And then 3 hours later, Bet the over in the Blackhawks game in the first quarter. First period or something. I go, oh, okay. Too bad that game was 6 days ago, you fucking idiot.
When Norm MacDonald, I wonder what you think of this. He said, do you want to, I think he was talking about Bill Maher. There are a number of comedians you can do this with, I suppose. But he said, do you want to be a comedian or do you want to be a smart guy? Do you, are you going to pick? Are you going to pick? Where are you philosophically on that?
Oh, I want to be a smart guy. Like Norm, and I love Norm MacDonald. He is my hero. He is one of my idols. We worked together on Last Comic Standing and did not get along. I took the job to work with him. Our philosophies were very different, and his criticisms of the other comics. He was a judge. I was the host. I was surprised by. And so it was just very different philosophically. All the respect in the world for Norm and what he did. It was amazing. I never try to replicate what he did. Not that I would change anything about Norm MacDonald. It's very different.
You didn't get along, though. You thought you were going to get along. You were hoping to get along. And one of your heroes.
I wanted to be best friends. But I think we were both, and we figured it out, but I think we were both a little disappointed in the job we had taken. And saw the other comedians on the show and were like, fuck, what are we doing here? And so we were both not in the greatest of moods and then would butt heads a little bit. Like just because he's my idol didn't mean that I backed down at all. I kind of treated Last Comic Standing like it was my show and no one else thought that. And so, yeah, we were gonna butt heads, but that's okay.
It is okay, but I wonder if, you're going in thinking someone's going to be your best friend. You're a loner. He's a hero of yours. I imagine a bit of an inspiration at least. And yes, of course, it's okay that you didn't get along, but it would have been better than okay if you had.
Sure, but it didn't make me like him less or respect him less. It was like, this is an issue of mine and his. Like neither one of us had, a lot of friends or was around people a lot of the time. But, yeah, I think right off the bat, I think he said something. I made fun of him for it. He wasn't happy about it. And I was like, I'm going to keep making fun of you because I took this job. And I'm not just going to sit here and let you take over. And that was, it was a tough week. We did 8 episodes of that show. Yeah.
And neither one of you liked being there because you thought the show was going to be something different, or you thought this particular thing, once you realized it wasn't up to your standard, you're like, what have I done? Or
I think Norm and I thought this was going to be like the Norm. I thought this was going to be the Norm and Anthony show where the comics go and perform, and they're all bad. Like they're all like young comics doing 3 minutes. It's not like the comics were bad, but it was still all about them. And if the comics were really bad and we said something funny about it, then that whole thing was cut from the show because they only wanted to show the good comics. So Norm and I were like, what are we doing here? If we can't give our real opinion, you don't want anyone to be mean. And there's 100 fucking contestants. We were both just like, this is not the best use of our time.
We're talking to Courtney Thorne-Smith, who recently came into the news because of her 1997 appearance on Conan alongside the late, great Norm MacDonald. People resurfaced that clip and the way that everything went off the rails and it went viral. Again, yes.
Yes, it's always been it's just a classic Norm MacDonald clip. He's so funny.
It is, and it builds really perfectly. It's like a comedy masterclass. But so how did that feel? I mean, you said you just watched it again this morning. How did it feel watching it?
It was so much fun to watch it. I remembered it as being great fun. And I remembered, normally after talk show appearance, it's kind of like, was it okay? I don't know. It was fine. You know what I mean? But I remember just having so much fun because I'd just been out there laughing.
Right.
And then people would say, was that okay for you? Was that okay? And I thought, to me, watching it, I thought I just looked like someone who was having a wonderful time. He was making me laugh so hard. Conan was
perfect.
Lovely.
Yeah.
So I authentically was having a great time. I mean, so I thought, so interesting that people say, and Conan, of course, is like, are you okay? Are you okay? I was like, did you not see me? I was laughing so hard. I was crying. I couldn't even breathe. I just thought and I watched it afterwards. And also I've seen him over the years. I'll run into him and they'll check him if maybe a show had just been on. But I watched it and I thought, I was there with Andy and Norm and Conan. And I thought, what a heavenly place to sit. Like, if someone said you get to have dinner with those 3 guys, we'd say, are you kidding? And you would expect to just sit there and laugh. You wouldn't expect to have, deep conversations. You wouldn't expect to get a word in edgewise, but it would be delightful to just sit and laugh. And that's how it felt for me.
And that's exactly what happened. Yeah.
Exactly
Well, I think that's what people are responding to is you weren't able to get a word in. It was just Norm was a steamroller, and he was
The second there was a pause, I think after a while, both it seemed like you and Conan were kind of like, he's coming back in 3.2 seconds and go. And he just kept interrupting. Had you met him prior to that taping that night?
I don't think so.
Right. I almost think, in a way, it was like, I almost felt like he was trying to flirt with you on camera is that a crazy thought? Just that he was, I think he was trying to impress you.
it was his mating ritual.
Well, I hadn't remembered until I watched it again. He said in the beginning they had a crush on me from the Tom Snyder show, which is also hilarious. So it started off on this lovely note. I mean, you can't, it's not going to get much better than that.
He suckered you in with that, and then it was like...
I don't mind being teased. That's how my family communicates.
Right.
That's how my a group of girlfriends I've been friends with for 30 years. To me, like a generous, loving tease. Now, if he was saying something mean about me, it would have felt differently, but he wasn't.
No, not at all.
It was just funny and light.
Well, you were a guest on Late Night 6 times. So this was somewhere in the middle there, which made me happy, too, because I was like, okay, at least you had some other normal appearances on the show as well.
Where you got to talk.
Where you were allowed to talk. Yes.
Be interviewed.
It wouldn't have bothered me, though, because... like I said, talk shows. It's this very strange thing where you have to talk to a pre-interviewer and you have these set stories and the host sets you up. And Conan's so good at this because even though it's set up, you still feel like you're having a conversation. When Norm started going, it just felt like a relief to me. It was like, oh, great, especially when we were talking about chairman of the board because, that was not, say, a project of great pride for me. And I had to promote it. And I think I was there to promote it. But Conan started with Melrose Place because he probably thought that was more interesting and then went into chairman of the board. And I was so happy when Norm took it and ran with it because I didn't know what to say. Like, it's one of those things, it read as funny. I had high hopes for it. I did it. Right. The experience wasn't great. And I thought, oh, this is not going to be what I'd hoped. Like, you thought, you never know, this could be amazing.
I'm sure that happens a lot. Where it's just, there's so many levels at which things can go wrong. And, even in editing.
Yes. And look, granted, you're doing Carrot Top's first movie. You might say, you might have had an idea. But, you also don't know. Like, Courtney Cox did The Pet Detective. And, that was with a relatively unknown Jim Carrey. And that turned out amazingly. So I thought, you never know. But I should have thought, that probably doesn't happen twice in a row. You
probably in the same year. Probably something... you finished filming like a year earlier, so you probably were like, "Oh my God, I did that movie. I've got to talk about it now. I forgot I did it."
Yes, I think I kind of hoped it would kind of fade away, and then they said, "You have this in your contract. You have to go promote it." So I went on Conan, who's a very safe place for me. And like I said, he's my He was my favorite host. I felt the most comfortable there.
And it was 1 a.m, so there was no pressure.
It was 1 a.m. Well, the whole show felt, him. He's so lovely as a person and he's so irreverent. And I thought, well, I can just go in here and have a nice time at least, and then I'll be done. I'll do my duty. And then Norm started, and it was just a gift. It was just great. You do it. You do it. Rock on. And I got to just sit there and laugh. I was beside myself. I was so happy.
That's great.
And he did really get word out on the movie.
I know. I was going to say, it was probably the best promotion that the movie got.
Well, it wasn't really. It wasn't great promotion, but, the movie wasn't going to sink or swim based on promotion or not. It was just, it was going to sink is the truth of what was going to happen. And, but I got to have a really fun talk show appearance. And it happened once before. I did the Tonight Show, and I was talking about my sister's wedding, and I did a bit about my dad telling a joke as we were walking down the aisle, and Don Rickles was there. And Don Rickles started riffing on my dad being insane, and why was he at the wedding? Wow. Shouldn't he have been in a home? And he just went off on my dad, and people said, was your dad upset? I was like, was my dad upset? It was a highlight of his life. He never stopped talking about it. Don Rickles teased him. He was beside himself. So we both got to be teased by comedians we really admire.
That's great.
So were you already a fan of Norm's, or were you aware of Norm at all?
I was a fan. I'm a comedy nerd. I always have been. So I
great.
was a big fan going in. So it was fun to just be there and sit next to him, and thrilled to have him take over my interview.
Get the Norm treatment.
Yeah.
That was the tail end of him hosting Weekend Update, because I think he left the show SNL later that year. So it timed out nicely. And yeah, he was riding that wave of, being the Weekend Update host, which was
where he was brilliant, obviously.
great. So a lot of times I think he'd be like a last minute booking sometimes, because he'd be in the building, and it's just like that. Conan was mentioning this, that, if someone dropped out or something, you can get Norm down, which is like usually a step up sometimes, wow, you have Norm coming in. And a lot of times Conan had no idea what he was going to say or do, which made it all exciting.
Yeah, and he could trust him, right? He knew it was going to be funny.
Right.
He knew it was going to be interesting. Well, also, don't you think, I feel like he works on a different time frame than the rest of us.
Yes.
Right? Like, that's one of the great things. His timing is so funny. And when you said, in the interview with me and Conan and him, he was like, there'd be a pause, and then there'd be like, he would come in at just the end of the pause. Like, his timing was so extraordinary that you never knew when you were talking to him when the break was going to be, when the punchline was going to be, and you don't care. You just kind of go. And he did, I saw him on Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee.
Yeah.
Right.
I felt the same way. I thought, he's just having a lovely time. He's just in the moment, in his own world, his own time, having a wonderful time. He doesn't seem nervous. He doesn't seem like he has to perform.
Right.
Yeah.
That's a really good point. He'd take over and change the timing of whatever was going on, and kind of turn it in, you're right, to Norm time.
Norm time.
Yes.
And you were literally kind of had to just be in his thrall and go along for the ride. And he would always just, stick the landing. It was always great.
Because he was so interesting. Like, it wasn't, I didn't feel like I was fighting for stage time. It was like he was talking and everything stopped, and we all just stopped and looked at him till he was done, because it was the most interesting thing in the room.
Yeah.
Right? Luckily I didn't think, he's taking my time, I need to compete. It didn't even occur to me. I just thought, oh my God, Norm MacDonald is talking.
Right.
This is amazing.
And I don't remember any other example on late night where he would just kind of take over like that during someone else's interview. It was just...
Yeah, I wonder if he felt bad after that.
Yeah.
I don't think so. I think but like as I was saying, when they saw the shot, it had all of us in it. Andy, Norm, me, and Conan. So it was like we're all there together, almost like we were a panel, and we were all there together.
Well, and you can really see that Conan doesn't know what's coming. I mean, and I know Conan loves that too, when things get derailed, and he's like, all right, we're throwing the note cards out, and now we're just following this new thread. But yeah, you can really see it, the joy that he's like, what's about to come out, and how am I going to react to that?
Well, and I think the reason that chairman of the board final joke is so memorable is because Conan tees it up. Like, he goes, what's the name of the movie? And you're like, chairman of the board. And then he just turns to him and goes, do something with that, you freak. Like,
what's the movie going to be called? Really?
I know what it's going to be called.
Yeah, what's that?
If it's got Carrot Top in it, you know what a good name for it would be?
What's that, Norm?
Box Office Poison.
She's in it.
What about my career?
Courtney Thorne Smith, the girl sitting to your left, is in the movie.
I'm going to go see it for Courtney.
There's this movie coming out.
Yes.
Title undetermined at this point.
Chairman of the board.
Oh, all right. Do something with that, you freak.
I bet the board is spelled B-O-R-E-D.
But I'll send one joke and you can make a determination. So he said, remember the joke he did about Dahmer, where he essentially reads the UPI wire copy of the Jeffrey Dahmer trial, and it's so I mean, it could not be grimmer. It's like Hieronymus Bosch sort of, and he disemboweled the young boy and ate the entrails, all that stuff. And it gets to the end of the joke, and Norm says, In his defense, Dahmer said he started it. It's such a Norm.
Hire him on the spot.
Hired him on the spot.
Yep.
Put him in a room with Drake Sather, the great Drake Sather, who was on that Young Comedian
Shit,
special
yeah,
with
with
us. And they tinfoiled the window shut like Elvis. They both smoked Smicks.
Nuts.
And the head writer would go over and ask him for jokes at a certain time, and they bridled at that. And I said, listen, these guys are rare avis. Think of that as a orchid hothouse. Those are two geniuses. You can't ruin the humidity in there. So I said, I went over to Norm and Drake and I said, listen, guys, I'm not going to take your best jokes. I don't want to know your best jokes. I need some 6s and 7s for this monologue. Because Norm would write jokes that I'd have to hand back to him. They were so brilliant. I said, I can't tell. I'm not going to take this joke. This will be what something and Drake too. He was a stone killer. So they said, fine. So at 1:30, it literally is like the food slot in Papillon, where the jokes would slide out into the door. And out of 12 jokes, some of them were so crazy that you thought, I'm going to go to hell just for seeing this joke. And then a couple were just they were two brilliant minds, and you know how they love to be left alone.
Do you know the comedian Drake Sather?
Sure. Well, he's your half a man.
They were roommates. They were office mates.
Shit.
They were office mates at Dennis Miller.
We were really good buddies. But we figured we'd try to figure out how to write a movie.
Yeah.
So there was this course. I told you this, right?
I think so, yeah.
There's this course. Robert McKee taught this course over 3 days at UCLA.
He's like the most
He's the hackiest, the worst.
But the most famous.
How to write in $3,000.
Yeah, exactly. So it's 10 hours a day. So me and Drake we're fucking lost immediately, like an hour in. We don't know what the fuck anybody's talking about. But he started the thing, by saying, he said, it's all about story. He goes, we all know people. It doesn't matter the contents of the story. It's how you tell the story. We all met great storytellers, and it doesn't matter what the story is. Like, because we've all met people, the worst thing could happen to them. Like their child could die, but they tell the story as nothing. Meanwhile, another woman could be telling a story about how she missed the bus that morning, and just captivate you, with all the details, and it'd be fascinating. So then for the whole rest of the 10 hours, Drake kept turning to him and he'd go, hey, Marjorie, I don't mean to be insensitive, but that story of your boy dying, bit of a yawner. I don't know if you've heard Mabel's story about getting on the bus this morning, but might pick up a few pointers. And then you just do different variations of it all day long.
Oh, but I am trying to be healthier, though. I want to quit smoking, but I just know if I do, I'm going to go right back to cocksucking. Isn't that how it is? You drop one bad habit, another one marches right in there, And the oral habits are the hardest to break.
I know to smoke.
I'll smoke it for you. If
No, I'm trying to.
I just figured it would be rude not to offer you a light.
It's nice, but I'm trying not to. And I feel if I
sitting there with a cigarette,
I feel if I took one puff. I have an oral fixation, my doctor tells me, which is not good.
How did he know that?
I was sucking his cock.
You know Norm?
Sure, sure, one of my best friends.
Hey, Norm! Fuck you!
What are you talking about?
Norm?
What happened?
Baited me on Twitter. He goes, I'm going to one day tell you the story of how Doug Stanhope changed my comedy career.
Really?
For good, I hope.
Very.
Never followed up. Like all my Twitter followers for like a year now.
And you have no idea what he was talking about.
One day I'm going to tell this story. Right. He never told the fucking story.
And do you know him?
No, I love it. He is on Stern.
Right.
What Charles Grodin was on Letterman.
Yeah, he's
anytime
really good.
He's on.
He's so fast too, like hanging.
He's so good. He's the
The movie Dirty Work came out. Here was the review in my hometown paper of my performance in Dirty Work. Artie Lang has all the charm of a date rapist. That's what it said. Okay. Norm looks at that. My mother was upset. Gets on the phone with my mother and goes, "Hey, Mrs. Lang, that's fucking great. A date rapist has to have way more charm than a regular rapist." He thought of that in like 10 seconds. And then my mother burst into tears.
Jessie May Peluso.
She's
the
hot?
girl that's really hot. She's not one of the
You
go-to.
fucked her?
No.
No.
She's the one that you go, oh, I would fuck her, but I would be in her act so quickly.
Right. And you don't want that.
Because I stink at fucking.
You don't want to get that review from a chick who's a comic.
It would be 4 to 5 minutes of solid how bad I am in bed.
Well, imagine it was like Roseanne. They're like, oh, guess who sucks at fucking? Well, what are you afraid they'd be too clever in the review?
I swam not naked, but in underpants with Roseanne in Hawaii. We got shit faced at the best bar
That's great.
in Honolulu,
Was she fat
Arnold's
then?
Tiki Bar.
She's never been
asked
that
for
fat.
Dawn as the bartender at Arnold's Tiki Bar. Me and Roseanne got fucked up. We walked to the beach.
Right.
We just shredded down to our underwear.
Did you make a move?
No,
Yeah, of
but
course
I'm
not.
fucking in love with that woman.
She's a great. She's
she
cool
is
as hell.
So fucking
I've
funny.
met her before. She's cool as hell.
Yes.
And her and Norm MacDonald were friends because he wrote on her show. And Norm was like, Norm goes, "Hey, what are you going on?" And she's like, "Eh." And after 10 minutes, I was listening to them talk. And after like about 10 minutes, it became this noise. Just a solid bar.
I can hear it.
But Roseanne is so funny. She's like naturally funny. You know.
All your shows anytime, anyway. How do you do it, for Christ's sake? Where the hell is it? The whole week? Just go to huluplus.com/norm. What? I'm trying to speed up through this. Right now, sign up for huluplus.com.
Norm MacDonald's podcast copy?
/norm.
/norm? You don't get any money from Norm.
This isn't supposed to be. It's supposed to be /bill. /bill. They said Norm. Well, you know what? I like Norm MacDonald. Let's give him the money for the week.
I didn't even know he had a podcast.
Oh yeah, dude, Norm MacDonald. Did you see him on Conan telling that moth joke?
No.
Yeah, you got to see it.
No, I haven't.
Dude, you know how many comics out there don't give a fuck, but kind of still do? You have to kind of still do to eat. That guy
Norm
truly
doesn't. He's so fucking
truly
funny. Norm, listening to Norm on Stern or anything, any podcast, listening to, I don't know if you remember when Charles Grodin would do Letterman, and just knowing he's going on there, that it was always a fucking great show.
Oh yeah,
That's
and
what
people didn't get that he was fucking around.
Yeah,
It was
that's how
amazing.
Norm is. Anytime, if Norm's the guest, I'm fucking listening.
One of my best opening monologue jokes ever. Did you ever see? Remember that whole thing when he was doing Weekend Update and they told him to make it funnier. So he didn't. He just was more Norm the next week. So eventually, of course, he gets fired. So then he goes off into the Hollywood world. He's got a TV show or a hit movie or some shit. So now they bring him back to guest host on SNL. And I'm going to butcher this, but he kind of came out. He's like, yeah, so people know I got fired from this show. So now they got me back hosting, which means either I got a lot funnier or this show sucks. That's what he opened up with. And I know that wasn't approved. Sorry for the bad Norm. I'll have Jay Moore on to make up for it.
That was a great Norm.
Then it occurred to me, I haven't gotten funnier. The show has gotten really bad. So yeah, I'm funny compared to, you'll see later. But okay, so let's recap. The bad news is I'm still not funny. The good news is the show blows.
Call me to say goodnight. Kiss me once or twice. I'll never let go of you. Fold me into your arms. Stay with
And Norm MacDonald in hell fucking hate you. So
You asked for some stories about Norm MacDonald and Bob Saget, and the odd part about it is that if I had known they would die as young as they did, I would have really taken notes. I mean, I remember one time, like every time I had lunch with Norm, I would let him pay. I wouldn't put in a dime. And then one time we went out to lunch, and he waited for me to put at least $1 in. And I said, come on, why ruin the tradition? And so he put the money in again. And I remember one time doing Norm's podcast, and it was like the two of us were just going crazy and laughing, and it was like insane. And then afterwards we went to dinner, joined by Bob Saget and Jeffrey Ross. And that was like just nonstop laughing and joking. I mean, I think that dinner, if we had been secretly filmed, that would have been an award-winning comedy special. But yeah, so I still miss Norm and I still miss Bob. And but I'm sure they're happy to have like fans like you who still remember them.
On the subject of SNL, and it's sweet when you took over for Norm, and Gilbert and I haven't said anything. Gilbert, I don't know, have you spoken publicly since Norm passed about him, Gil?
I don't know if
We haven't said anything on this show, which we would like to do now. You both knew him well, but the bartender speech when you took over, and obviously it was a very awkward period for you.
Oh God!
To be stepping into that role, and also a friend's job.
Yes, yeah. It was like we lived in the same building too.
You know how you go to your favorite bar, and your local bartender isn't there? You ask, "Where's Jeff?" Jeff no longer works here. I'm Steve. And you're thinking, "Hey, who's this idiot? I like Jeff." But you still want your drink? And even though Steve doesn't mix your drink the same way you're used to, like Jeff, you still like the bar. You don't have to go to a different bar. And even Steve might feel kind of bad because Jeff trained him.
Did he ever say anything to you about that? Did he ever give you a blessing?
He was so he was so classy in not saying anything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's all.
You have that great I'm Steve, what can I get you?
Yeah.
The bartender piece.
Well, I'm Steve. What can I get you?
But I wish it would have stayed the way it was. But, you know, it is what it is. But, yeah, Norman's he's so funny. He was so distinctively funny. You know?
Nobody liked him, really.
No, he had his own thing. You know what I mean? He was just very, well, like Gilbert. I mean, they just have their own, they march to their own drummer, even in a business where everybody marches to their own drummer. They both have that, you know, idiosyncratic thing where it just be like, this is how I am, and that's it. And it's great. But, you know, you have to tune to their frequency. You know, it's not like you can just, you know.
You know what's funny about that first update you did? Here's Norm being fired, as we all know, by Don Ohlmeyer,
right,
because of cutting too close to the bone with the OJ jokes. When in fact he was doing a public service by telling those OJ jokes. And I'm watching you do your first update. There's an OJ joke. It's like the third joke.
Yeah.
In the February issue of Esquire magazine, O.J. Simpson said that if I had killed Nicole, it would have been because I loved her very much. And then he said, and if I had killed Ron Goldman, it would have been because he accidentally witnessed me loving Nicole very much. Somebody should buy this guy a John Gray book, all right?
You shook his hand once? O.J.? Getting out of a car?
Well,
he was getting out of a limo?
He was getting out of a limo middle of the afternoon. And I have no psychic energy. I've never had those kinds of things, you know. But for whatever reason, this was in an afternoon. He's getting out of a limo with a girl. It's spring break. It's packed with people. It's Florida. And they're like, hey, do you want to meet OJ? I go, yeah, OJ. It's the greatest running back of all time. You know, great charming movie star. I shake his hand. He shakes my hand. And he's not even looking at me. He's looking past me. And he shakes my hand. And I felt like a joke of like evil. I swear to God.
It's like the Dead Zone.
That's what it was like. That's what it was like. And I was like, that was weird, OJ. I love OJ. Well, that was weird energy, you know.
Wow. So you picked up on something.
I feel like I did, you know. It's, of course, in retrospect. But I remember telling people at the time, so.
I was also fond of, going back to your SNL bits, Colin Quinn explains the New York Times.
Yeah, that was a good one.
And the St. Pat's editorial and Joe Blow. You look like you were having fun, and the best stuff is you and Norm together.
That's right. That's right.
There's obviously an affection that comes across on the screen.
Yes, yeah. And that was the early days of it. It was great.
I'm sorry we never managed to get him here. We tried, and for whatever reason, he was as elusive as you.
He's more elusive. He's like,
he was.
I love to do it. I'd love to. And you're like, oh, good. How about next week? Yes. What day? And you're like, okay. He's like, all right, call him and we'll set it up. Next week is perfect because I'm doing this. And you're like, hey, I'll say Norm. Years later, what happened? What? I thought I was going to come on your show. What happened? It's like, oh, Jesus, Norm.
Well, like you say, march to his own drum.
Yeah.
Straight to the heart. I went a long time acting like I was broken apart by you.
Oh, I remember meeting OJ at a party years ago, and it turns out he was a fan.
Uh-oh.
And he did an imitation of me, and to this day, I wish I had like that on film.
Of
course. It would be like Charles Manson doing an imitation.
Yeah. Yeah.
Earlier today, the biggest auction ever of Beatles memorabilia took place in Tokyo. Among the one-of-a-kind items on the block were Paul McCartney's birth certificate, a white Mercedes-Benz owned by John Lennon, and rarest of all, a photo of George Harrison not looking haggard. Have you ever seen one when you think about it? In a recent interview, Paul McCartney confessed that Bob Dylan turned the Beatles on to marijuana. In return, George Harrison turned Dylan on to looking old and haggard.
I've never seen a picture of George Harrison not haggard. He's somewhere, he's be-haggard. He's like beleaguered and haggard. Like he's haggard with a beleaguered
Be-haggard?
thought. Yeah.
My dad died, and my grandfather died, and my great-grandfather died, and the guy before him, I don't know, probably died. I come from a long line of death. That's my point. That's my point.
Like I've noticed on your special, you do have a lot of bits that are very funny, but like very dark as far as the death and growing old and disease and things like that. One of the funniest goddamn things you were saying was, your odds of getting attacked by a terrorist are 1,000,001, but your heart attacking you. It's just somebody, your heart attacks you. The heart's not.
What are the odds of your heart attacking you?
Your
That was
heart
great.
attacking
I
you.
thought that was offensive.
It was very
Well, the
offensive.
people who've had heart attacks, Carl, it's a good
very
point.
offensive.
Funny to us.
It's too soon.
But like,
you think about it, what's the odds that a terrorist will attack and kill you? Almost zero, But what are the odds that you will be attacked and killed by your own heart?
where is that? Like, where are you as far as that goes? Are you authentically petrified of the end or of falling apart? Which isn't.
I shouldn't think about it as much as I do.
You do? Do you lay there?
I go fucking. I get a lot of tests done.
Do you? Yeah,
like
make sure everything's cool. Your cholesterol.
This happened to me one time. Because, people say, oh, you're a hypochondriac and shit. But I'm like, no, fuck, that's not it. It's like the only chance you got is early detection. That's all you got. And so I used to go to the Mayo Clinic, you know, in Rochester, Minnesota, every year, and I would have. This is what I would do, because I don't. This is what doctors do. They'll just fucking. You go, hey, I got a cough. That's probably a cold.
Right.
You know what I mean? They just brush everything off, especially if they know
That's
you're
what
a
they told
hypochondriac.
Jim Henson.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
So what I would do is I'd go to this is what happened to me. I went to Rochester Mayo Clinic, and I would exaggerate all my symptoms. So I go to the stomach guy. He goes, "What do you got?" I go, "I fucking shitting blood. I'm coughing up blood." He goes, "Holy fuck!" So he'd give me a full thing. I wanted to make sure I got a full thing. So every fucking guy, blood was coming out of my nose and ears and my asshole and everything. So anyways. Just so I get a full, clean bill of health. So I did, and then that's when I'm most happy, is just when I'm walking out of that place.
Now, how long does that last?
Doesn't last long, because
something can
obviously
pop up.
2 days later, the fucking thing can start. But then, a fucking 6 months later, I decided, I never had insurance before, so I decided to get like life insurance. Couldn't get it, right? And so I fucking said, why the fuck can't I get, nobody will accept me for life insurance. Anyway, it turns out that the life insurance people are privy to all the doctor's notes.
Oh, so you were
they
saying...
got the doctor's notes. Even though I had a clean bill of health, they go, this guy's shitting blood, fucking blood everywhere, you know.
I can insure this motherfucker.
Yeah. So they said he must have some unknown disease.
Oh, shit. Oh, shit.
So it took me a long time, and then finally I had to get that fucking Ed McMahon life insurance. Those guys are like, hey, man, will nobody fucking give you life insurance on account of you're fucking old and sick and going to die? Here, we'll give it to you, $1 a month.
If you're 65 or older, you can get term life insurance.
Yeah.
And then it says doesn't kick in for 3 years, premiums, you know. And
plus, imagine if you're the fucking guy that's asked to do that commercial.
And it's like, and no medical tests. We won't ask any medical questions.
Imagine you're an actor, like you're fucking like Robert Wagner, and you know that's you know, like, hey man, do you think about death every fucking day like me? Did you never fucking think of taking care of your family at any point?
Until right now when you're on your deathbed?
Until now?
Holy shit, man. Yeah, I did notice during the special there were a lot of those things, but you make them fun. It's very rare that you could use the word cancer in a bit and actually make it funny.
I'm not a doctor, but I'm pretty sure if the cancer dies, I mean, if you die, the cancer also dies at exactly the same time. So that, to me, is not a loss, that's a draw. That's a, you know what I mean?
It was just, yeah. No, I'm not like, that's not what I talk about in stand-up. That was just a certain period of time.
No, that's
when
what I mean. You know, it's
thinking about shit like that.
Do you? I noticed because I'm very bad with me being alone with my own thoughts at night. A lot of times, if I'm just in a quiet room without the TV on, like I'll just think too much to go to sleep.
Yes.
And it could be anything. It could be like, oh, there's a kind of a program I want to maybe work on tomorrow on the computer.
Yeah.
Or it could be, hey, I wonder when I'll die.
Yeah.
You know, and that. So I like having the TV on just for that. Are you good with your own thoughts, just laying there in the quiet?
I'm no good.
No?
I try to, because you know, you try something to get off the whatever the fuck you'd use to quiet your mind. You know,
yeah.
Whether it's booze or whatever the fuck, pills, whatever it is. But I try meditation, try that, you know. To me, it worked the opposite. Like I'm sitting in a room of people, they go, just close your eyes. They go, thoughts will happen. No fucking kidding. Racing hellish thoughts, you know. And then the guy's like, just let them go. I'm like, ah. And then you open your eyes, you look at some other fuckers right beside you. Yeah. And I tried it 3 times. I could never get to any place of quiet.
No, I need a lot of distractions, and I could still operate and work. Like I could make myself, you know, go to sleep, or if I'm working on a computer or something. I'm good with the TV on or something like that.
Yeah.
But I need this constant little distraction, because if you're just left alone to your own devices, your thoughts will turn horrid.
I stumped a fucking psychiatrist once. I said to the guy, because I was fucking gambling all the time, shit, right? I had a gambling addiction. I'm over it now, but shit. But he said...
I bet you're not.
That's a good one. He almost lost everything.
You haven't met Chip.
Yes, Chipperson is very funny.
But we'll meet him after.
But he said, the psychiatrist, he said, you're using gambling, you're fixating on gambling in order to escape your real thoughts. You know?
Mm-hmm.
And I said to him, isn't that why you do everything in life? And literally, I stumped him.
He had no answer.
He was like, and then he recovered and tried to make it. But isn't that why you do everything?
Yes.
So you're not sitting at home
just thinking
about
what was
what's
your,
really going to happen to us?
where it all ends?
Norm, are you in therapy at all?
No.
Really?
Psychotherapy?
Yeah. Have you ever sat with a therapist and?
No, I don't believe in psychotherapy.
You don't?
No.
Really? Why is that?
Because I've read psychotherapists.
Yeah.
And I don't agree with their.
Do you do your own psychoanalysis? Do you?
I have
spend
my
a lot
own
of time,
beliefs.
Right. But do you spend a lot of time in sort of self-reflection and?
Yes,
Do you?
I ruminate.
Do you?
Yeah, I have a theory that that people are in deep denial of death.
Right.
And I'm not.
You know you don't want to.
No, I think most people don't think they're going to die.
Well, you know it's funny that you say that because just even in the last week I'm like, nobody really thinks they're going to die.
Yeah.
Like you just can't get your head around it because you're so busy living.
Right.
You're
It's
like,
almost
that's not gonna happen
impossible
to
to
me.
comprehend.
Right.
And everything you see is living. Even if someone else dies, it's always a shock because they've always been alive. Yeah. So it's very hard. It is a hard thing to wrap your mind around. I'll be doing a lot of this at Cobb's Comedy Club.
You say I don't listen. I tell you I try. And we both got our own problems. But I still try to make you tired.
Haunts me. Because the thought of not existing. You know, it's like, you know what the new thing they call it is? Dirt nap.
Good God, Larry.
That's what they call it, a dirt nap.
You would not say that on Hulu.
No, I wouldn't say it, but I'd say it here.
When I die, I want my body donated to science. But more specifically, a scientist who is working on bringing dead guys back to life.
Oh, that's just, is that funny at all? That's just a statement.
Can I calm your fears about death?
Yeah, please.
Be
serious. Are you being serious?
I'm being completely serious. Because I used to be, as he knows, obsessed with it.
Oh, yeah,
and I would ruminate it all night on it. And then I came to a realization that you and death will never intersect. As long as you're here, death is not. As long as death is there, you are not.
Yeah, but since you know it's coming.
Don't you want to live forever?
You bet.
Don't you want to cross that river?
Yeah, I want to.
Don't you want to kiss tomorrow now?
Do you believe you go somewhere?
Sure.
Where do you go?
Well, first they put you in a big black car. And by golly, everybody's dressed in their best Sunday go-to-meeting clothes. It's good to be alive, you know what I mean, isn't it? That's what I say. That's what I like. You know, I mean, I have opinions. I mean, I have opinions that everybody holds, you know. I don't know. Yellow's the best color, you know, but I don't know if you call that an opinion, you know. It's just a, oh, hold on, it's my phone. There's a guy will come on TV, go, hey, listen, let me ask you a question. Do you like yellow? And I go, yeah, of course I like yellow. He goes, yeah, well, so is this guy. And they show guys waving, pointing at someone that doesn't exist, wearing a yellow shirt, you know? And then I go, Ruth, get out here, goddamn. Here's a guy on the TV that's speaking for me finally, Ruth. You know, I'm always talking about how cool yellow is. Well, this mother finally, a person that's speaking not at me, but for me. I like bananas. I go, God damn, I never looked at it that way. I like bananas too. You go, they're yellow. I go, God damn, you're right, they are yellow. Ha! What say you and me go buy a yellow banana?
I was at a party with a friend and I noticed you first, and you returned my gaze, knew how to quench my thirst. You took me to that room like a dream come true. The dance you performed was just for me and you. Kisses on the neck, then you work your way for me all around town. Seductively stood.
No, I don't do him from his radio show. I just do him from the, because he has his article in USA Today.
His column.
His column.
Yeah.
And all it is he just, anything he thinks of, he writes it down.
Sure, his thoughts.
A king's thoughts.
Yeah, and they're just like completely random. Like he'll go like, blue is a great color, but for my money, yellow is the best. It's like crazy.
That's all, Larry.
Supposed to make you think.
Yeah, it makes you think. He goes, I don't care what.
Tell me some of the Asian things that, like, you know.
Like what you would call a guy.
Small penis?
No, like
names.
Names, yeah.
Oh, well, yellow. Yeah.
Yellow?
Yeah.
Who says that?
Who says yellow?
You're a coward.
Hey, yellow.
No, that's yeller.
You're yeller.
Yeah.
I've never heard of yellow.
No, I never.
That's our skin color, but.
Yeah, yellow man.
That's just what
Yellow
you
man,
said.
that's what you say.
God,
You made that up.
Oh, no,
Hey, yellow man, get out of my bar. I've never heard that.
No.
Do you know all the? Do you know all the racial things against Asians? Yeah, can you?
This week is Taxi Cab Appreciation Week, so to all you taxi cab drivers out there, I'd appreciate it if you'd take a shower once in a while. How'd that be? PLO leader Yasser Arafat announced this week that his wife is pregnant. The happy couple said they really don't care if the child is a boy or a girl, just as long as it hates Jews. The United Paramount Network's new show, Star Trek Voyager, finished in first place Monday night with a 14.7 rating. For those of you who don't know, one rating point is equal to 950,000 nerds. Well, there's good news this week from strife-torn Ireland, where a historic peace agreement has just been signed. Gee, I wonder if anyone will celebrate by drinking. Angry over the Atlanta Braves and Cleveland Indians' use of Indian caricatures as logos, Native Americans showed up at the World Series tonight. They chanted for hours to protest Indian stereotypes, though it didn't help their cause any when it started to rain. In Nashua, New Hampshire this week, a high school student, Chris Connolly, while attempting to dunk a basketball, lost his balance, crashed down on the rim, and shattered 2 front teeth. Gee, I wonder if by some crazy chance Chris is white. Well, if I can be allowed a personal opinion, you know, I think Harrison Ford's new mustache works. And by works, I mean looks really gay. Well, this week, world chess champion Garry Kasparov defeated an IBM computer in their 6-game chess series. Experts are calling the encounter between chess wizard and supercomputer historic, because, for the first time ever, it brought together both geeks and nerds. In honor of this year's Academy Awards, Carnival Airlines is offering anyone named Oscar a free flight to or from Los Angeles. The airline had tried a similar promotion in the past for the Tony Awards, but according to airline spokesmen, they found that their planes were packed with too many, quote, greasy Italians. Last week on Larry King Live, Marlon Brando made the shocking statement that Hollywood is, quote, run by Jews. In response, outraged Jewish organizations made it snow in New York in April. In overseas news, an attempt to lift the ban on gays serving in the British Armed Forces has been defeated in Parliament. This raises a difficult legal question. How do you exactly tell if a British guy is gay? In Bridgeport, Connecticut, the Statakoti Indian tribe is seeking recognition by the Bureau of Indian Affairs in order to open either a manufacturing company or a casino? I wonder which one they'll choose. Manufacturing company or the casino? Potential jurors for the O.J. Simpson case were asked to fill out a 75-page jury questionnaire this week. In the entire state of California, only one person got a perfect score. Xiao Ming Wu, who after the trial plans to attend Caltech. In Michigan, State Historical Commission officials say they will not interfere with the building of a new major sports stadium, even if construction unearths historical artifacts. However, state Indian Affairs officials say that if relics from a Native American tribe are found, they would like to have the land set aside and designated as a sacred tribal burial ground / giant casino. According to the U.S. Bureau of the Census, California's population is expected to grow nearly 18 million by the year 2025. Also by the year 2025, it will be much easier to find a vacant apartment in Mexico. According to a new survey by the Women's Vote Project, women would be more likely to vote if they could send in ballots by mail or if polls were open longer. Also, more women would vote if you were permitted to bake your vote. They like to bake. Finally, in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, a man allowed his 8-year-old daughter to take the wheel of his car, and an accident ensued that damaged 7 other cars and injured 6 people, which once again proves my theory: women can't drive. 4 Wisconsin men have been charged with felony hate crimes after burning a man's buggy simply because he was Amish. If convicted, the men face up to 25 years in prison. But furious Amish leaders say that is not enough. They want the dunking wheel. On Wednesday, NASA launched the Space Shuttle Columbia on its 87th voyage. This trip by the shuttle will feature the first spacewalk ever by a Japanese astronaut who will get to take in the unique perspective of Earth from space. Gee, I wonder if there's any chance he'll take a picture. This week, computer hackers broke into Yahoo, the internet's most popular website, and vowed to unleash a crippling computer virus if a fellow hacker is not released from prison. Experts warn that catching these cyber terrorists will not be an easy task and may require the cooperation of both nerds and geeks. Safer drivers, men or women? Well, according to a new survey, 55% of adults feel that women are most responsible for minor fender benders, while 78% blame men for most fatal crashes. Please note that the percentages in these pie graphs do not add up to 100% because the math was done by a woman. For those of you hissing at that joke, it should be noted that that joke was written by a woman. So now you don't know what the hell to do. No, I'm just kidding. We don't hire women. I'm thankful for women.
Oh,
Conan.
there you go.
The greatest creatures on earth.
That's all right. We'll get behind that one.
I think women are more intelligent than men. Also, Conan, without women, there would be no cookies.
How many Polish guys does it take to screw in a light bulb? The question cannot be answered because Polish people are so fucking stupid that no matter how many of them are available, none of them would ever be able to complete that simple task.
This is a meta joke. Have you aware of these meta jokes?
How many comedians does it take to screw in a light bulb?
How many?
2. One to do it and the other guy to go, how long's he been up there?
I like that.
On stage.
Yeah, because they was going, how long?
Like, how long?
Oh, that's a good one. That's Polish people. I remember the Poland. Do you remember they were had something. They were trying to land on the sun.
Oh.
I was going to say that the Polish government did actually try to land on the sun back in the
No, they didn't.
Yes, and they were ridiculed for it because they said you'll burn up when you come anywhere near. They said we're going at night.
Who?
Now,
And come to think of it, I got addicted to you. Oh, no, no, no. And come to think of it, I need somebody like you. Oh, no, no, no. I need someone like
attitude. You have to say this with attitudes. You have to read ahead and use your acting skills. I liked you in She Devil.
Thank you. A study has found that men are just as likely as women to spread gossip. At least that's what I heard Rick tell Brad, who, by the way, has a crush on Patty.
Oh, does she?
All the racial things against Asians? Yeah, can you tell me them?
Well,
I love when the
Guy
people do that.
Aoki got mad at me one time.
Why?
He's the head of the guys that get defended. In terms
So just
of
tell me some.
well, he knows them the best.
Yeah. Oh, you do?
What about this? I call it the G word. The G word.
Do you know the G one?
Oh, gook? Yes.
Well, you just said that like it came out so naturally.
Slipped out. Oh, no, you're right about
You just said it just like, secondhand.
I thought it was a term of endearment.
It's not. But can I tell you guys?
Yeah,
where?
you think that's like a fucking handshake?
Tell me some of the Asian things that
like
what you call a guy. Small penis?
No, like names, yeah.
Oh, yellow, yeah.
Yellow,
man.
That's just what
yellow,
you
yellow
said.
man. That's what you said.
God,
you made that up.
Oh no,
Hey, yellow man, get out of my bar. I've never heard that.
No, that was just
Guy
my
runs
favorite.
out of the old one, so he has to make up a new one. Come on. Here's the problem with taking pictures.
Yeah.
Photographers are largely flamboyantly gay.
Right.
And so then when they take, a good look for them is a flamboyantly gay look.
Right.
So when they take your picture, they want you to look flamboyantly gay, and then you're like, can I look a little less flamboyantly gay? And they're like, no, this is good. I'm like, I'm wearing a dress.
Well, again, it's tonight and tomorrow night. The Comedy Works in Larimer Square. Thanks so much for toughing it out
man.
without coffee. It's great
This
to
was
meet
fun.
you.
Thanks
Thank
a
you,
lot.
All right, on over.
Excellent suit.
Thank you. Yeah, it's
Yeah, I
just
like that one.
brand new. Oh my. Let's get back over to Angie and Chris, please.
Wait a minute. Norm, what is wrong, Norm, with flamboyantly gay?
Yeah.
I ask you.
I ask you, Norm.
Ooh, hit a little close to home this morning, didn't it?
Did you see this outfit? Did you see this thing?
This is what you should have worn for the headshot, Norm. Come on. Panache.
It is cool.
Huh? Come on.
You wore that between what he's wearing now and ending up in the dress. That was halfway.
It is cool.
Norm could have worn this.
Oh, yeah.
Wow. Hey, Johnny Weir called. He wants his outfit back.
Oh, hey now. He's talking to you, too, not me.
I don't know who he's talking
I don't
to.
know. Maybe he's talking to me. Because Johnny Weir would look fabulous in this.
Look good in either one of these outfits.
Yes, he-
Did you meet him backstage?
No, I haven't. I met Randy Travis, and I'm a huge country music fan, and George Jones is my favorite, so this is a big night for me.
Do you like the new country or you like the old
No,
country?
the new is gay. Well, I'm not gay, so I don't know much about Broadway musicals. And I've been told I can't ask you a question, so I don't know what I'm supposed to do here.
It's more than we really wanted to know.
And you kind of surprised me because you did MTV Beach House recently, and there's a certain kind of person you expect to show up on the MTV Beach House, and I hear we'll be right back with MTV Beach House. Our special guest Norm MacDonald. I thought, what the hell are you doing?
It's this.
What was that?
It's this show on MTV, right?
I know.
And it's at a beach.
It's at a beach.
And they don't script anything. Like, they do like for anyway. So the host was like, "Hey Norm, do you mind wearing a pair of trunks? Bathing trunks?" And I go, "No, I don't want to wear that. Because I'm like, my body's like all weird looking and everything."
everybody else is super hot ladies and super hot men. I don't, whatever.
Whatever you. Wow.
So,
got an issue about that. All right, go ahead.
So I'm on the show, right? So they're saying, hey, come on, seriously, put on the trunks. I'm like, no, man, I don't want to. So then they think this will be funny. They go, hey, we're going to show you a fashion show. Some dudes will come out, and show you, you see what you think. I go, what? So all of a sudden, these 3 dudes come out, right, dancing around in their thongs and shorts and everything.
They're wearing thongs or shorts? Which one?
Bathing trunks, but some of them are like thongs where you can see their dirty arses. So, so I'm like watching it, and I'm like, oh,
like
man.
Chaucer. Yeah, go ahead.
So I'm like, oh. I guess it is.
Okay, go
Old
ahead.
English. So I said, oh, yeah, no, I'm pretending to go, oh, yeah, that's funny, right? And
you do a lot of that at MTV, yeah.
So then the guy, the host, he goes to this one guy who was very, very, very gay. He goes,
what? How do you know that?
No, I mean,
you had a sign?
Yeah, he looked very, very gay. He says to this dude, he says, hey, I'll give you $20 if you lap dance on Norm. You know what I mean?
Right.
All of a sudden, this dude like, hey, $20. I guess he didn't have much money. Starts running towards me, right? So I look up. Here's this nude, almost nude dude running towards me, right? So I think in my head, okay, man, pretty soon the guy's going to be writhing around on my lap with his ass, And I don't want that on TV, forever.
No, it's okay to talk about it, but you don't want to see it.
Right. They videotape that, and it's there forever. So, meanwhile, what can I do? You can't hit a guy because it looks bad. You know what I mean? Even though, of course, a woman could hit a naked guy running at him.
Sure, that's
fine.
okay.
But a man can't hit him. Yeah. So I have to think fast. It's only a second. So I bolt. I take off, right?
You started running, too?
Yeah, running down the beach.
The guy catch you or no?
Yeah, and then I had to come back on. They're like, oh, Mr. Homophobic. I won't let a guy grind his ass into you.
You live here, of course, in the city because you're doing the show.
I live in New York City.
Yeah. This isn't a police interrogation. Are you sure? Where about? Where in the city do you live, approximately, not specifically? But...
I live at 56 between 8th and Broadway.
Okay, and what's your phone number? Just give me 7 digits. All right. What? Your neighbors nice people? The people that live around you?
Great people. Every day I meet somebody new.
Mm-hmm.
This city's great because of the neighborly people. I don't know. But I did meet one neighbor. Interesting story. That this guy. He just moved in. Next door to me.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm always one to meet the neighbors.
You like to chat with the neighbors.
Yeah, because So I went over to the guy, knocked on the door next door to where I live, and I say to the guy, I said, hey, I'm your new neighbor, and I said, good to see you, nice to run into you, welcome to the neighborhood, And so the guy, I said, what do you do for a living there, sir, if you don't mind me asking? What do you do for a living? I'm a nightclub comic, I tell the guy. So he says to me, I work down at the University of Science there. He says,
that's a good school, by the way.
I can't remember the exact place.
Sure.
But he says, I'm a professor of logic.
Oh.
So he says, the guy says, logic. Now, what the hell is that? I never heard tell of that. He says, oh, well, he says it's a kind of a pattern of syllogistic. Well, he says it's hard to explain. He says, why don't I give you an example? So I said, fair enough. Why don't you do that? So the guy says, well, he says, let me ask you a question. He says, do you own a doghouse? So I go, yes, I do. He says, well, then that means you probably have a dog. I said, yes. He says, well, that means you have a family if you have a dog. I said, yes, I do. He said, well, then that means you got kids, you're married? I said, yes, I am. He says, well, then you're a heterosexual man. I said, yes, sir, I am. He says, well, you see, that's logic there. I asked if simply from finding out you had a doghouse, I made this series of inferences, and I found that you're a heterosexual man simply from the fact that you had a doghouse. Well, I said, good God, isn't that something?
Okay.
So I said, well, I won't waste any more of your time there, neighbor. And I said, I'll see you later.
See you around. Okay.
So I said, come by one day and have a chicken with me. So anyways, I left. So I go to get a bus, to the bus stop. And I walk down to the bus stop, and I'm still thinking about this thing that happened to me, And I'm standing at the bus, and no bus coming at all, and 5 or 6 of us standing around, and one guy lights up a cigarette there, and he goes, as soon as you light up a cigarette, the bus comes. And he smokes the whole damn cigarette, no bus comes.
Right.
So I said to the guy, well, that theory really worked, huh? And the guy goes, well, sometimes it works. Anyways, the guy goes, what's new with you? I go, well, I had an interesting thing happen to me today. I said, I met my neighbor. And he goes, oh, yeah? I go, he had a hell of an interesting job. I said, he's a professor of logic down at the University of
Science.
And so the guy says, is that so? He says, professor of logic. He goes, what the hell is that, logic? I said, well, it's a series of Scylla something or other.
Right.
I said, I can't remember exactly, but I said, I'll give you an example if you want to hear an example. So the guy goes, all right, fair enough. So I said, let me ask you this. I said, let me ask you a question. Do you own a doghouse? And the guy goes, no, I don't own a doghouse. So the guy says, oh, yeah, you're one of them gays.
And it worked, right? What great stuff you can learn at that
nice.
University of Science there.
And then the guy, get this. Get this.
There's more?
This gay guy invites me to have a chicken at his place.
That's some kind of euphemism. Watch out.
Come on. You're begging for a beating after saying that MGK beat Eminem in this diss track fucking battle. You're begging for people to call you a retard all week long because that's what they're going to call you. That's really bad.
Lewis, you can't say retard in this day and age. Even Norm MacDonald knows that. Norm MacDonald went to Down syndrome instead of retard.
I know.
Okay, on the Howard Stern show. You can't say that. Come on, Jesus Christ. My son's retarded, please.
Not retarded. You can't say that.
Of course he's not retarded. I know, I'm joking.
Isn't it crazy? Even something like retard.
Poor little guy.
Look,
I'm trying to catch butterflies.
I'm fighting back. I'm keeping at least retard. You can't take that one from me.
It was a good one. You can't say that. All right, questions, please.
Questions. All right, here we go. Let's see. If you guys want us to answer your questions, BYM@GasDigitalNetwork.com. They have to know how to send in the questions. How are they not going to? They're not going to know. BYM@GasDigitalNetwork.com. Send your questions there. All right. Let's see. Okay. Well, this guy actually asked about Norm MacDonald. Can I give my take about this guy? You have a different thing. I'm a comedian.
Hold on. There's a lot of people in England that probably don't know who Norm MacDonald is and don't know what's going on. So, first of all, give a quick breakdown for everybody listening. When I say quick, abbreviated breakdown. Go.
30 seconds or less. Got a timer on. Okay. So Norm MacDonald's a comedian from fucking old school SNL days. Been a comedian for like 40 years probably. Considered somewhat of a living legend, right? He recently did an interview for some magazine. I think it was the New Yorker or something. And he was asked about the Louis C.K. and Roseanne situation, both independently. And he went on to, because he's friends with them, basically defend them more or less. And one of the things he had stated was like, look, not many people understand what it's like to lose, tens of millions of dollars in a day, to lose everything for, a mistake. And then I guess they went and said, the interview said, well, what about the victims? And he was like, well, the victims didn't go through that, which he got a lot of flack for. They canceled his Tonight Show appearance. He was supposed to do Jimmy Fallon, and then they canceled his appearance. And he's fine. He's got a Netflix show still. He's still doing all the touring of all the circuits. But it was, you know, it just depends on how you feel about this whole thing. I mean, should people be able to have an open conversation about how they feel about the Me Too movement and what's going on in Hollywood and what's going on in society? And if you're not just speaking one side of the narrative, you know, do you have to live in fear of having these opportunities taken from you? Not even doing something, not even hurting somebody, but they took an opportunity from him because he just stated like, you know, which by the way, I mean, I want to get your opinion on it, but it's like, what the fuck? Valerie Jarrett wasn't a victim. Roseanne's quote unquote victim. She had a comedian say, you know, even at the worst case scenario, a racist thing about her. I would much rather have somebody say something racist about me than lose $30 million. Any day of the week. Any day of the week.
This is way over 30 seconds.
50. I mean, I'm looking at it.
Way over. I stopped listening a while
50.
ago. A minute 50.
A minute 50.
A minute
Okay.
50.
Okay.
I'm disgusted with you. You've lost all track of time.
I'm off the Tonight Show.
You know, Jesus Christ. I mean, what is this guy talking about? Jesus, get a grip. Get a grip. A quick abbreviated breakdown. And you went off on a tangent there. Listen, here's the thing. The Me Too movement is valid. Okay. And it's a fantastic thing because there is no place for sexual harassment in this world, whether you're a man, woman, child, whatever. Shouldn't happen. His choice of words. I heard him on the Howard Stern show, and he said he shouldn't have done it. He said he shouldn't have said it. He apologized. He said the choice of words were wrong, and they were, you know, because it sounded like he was sympathizing with them over the victims. That said, you know, there was a bit of a overreaction over it all. He clarified his comments. He apologized. But you wanted to talk about this last week when it first happened. And I said to you, I don't want to talk about this because it is a touchy subject for a lot of people, you know, and I don't really want to get my feet wet. I don't want to dive in with my massive size 12s and make a mockery of something that is a very powerful movement that is needed in this day and age, that I will say is somewhat abused at times as well and overplayed. So I don't know. It's a tricky one, but what was the question that the person asked?
Yeah, well, he had asked specifically
1 minute 50.
What do you think of this whole Tonight Show Norm MacDonald situation? I'm a huge Norm fan, and I really appreciate the support you've shown him on Twitter. This is to me specifically. Give his new show a plug on the podcast. So this is Matthew in Montreal. It wasn't so much that I was I wasn't supporting Norm because I don't fucking know Norm and I don't give a shit. Like every time a celebrity gets Me Too'd or dies in a fucking accident or whatever it is, in my opinion, I move up another bump in the industry. So I'm like, yeah, kill them all, dude. Louis C.K., whoever, get the fuck out of the way. That's the way that I feel about it. I'm not defending anybody. I am saying that comedians are supposed to be looking for truth. And the way that we do that is by, you know, trying to write jokes and have conversations about things that are uncomfortable sometimes. And when you're discouraging comedians from doing that, you're essentially killing comedy. And The Tonight Show is a show that should be encouraging the creation of great comedy and not discouraging the discussion, no matter what side you fall in the discussions. And I agree, the Me Too movement is extremely necessary, but don't devalue it by breaking anybody down that wants to discuss it beyond just like, oh, you're absolutely right. Because I think that's, dude, discussion is like, look, every time you have an argument with your girlfriend or your wife or anybody, right? What is the way do you come to the solution? By having an actual discussion. You and your wife will get into an argument. You'll go home. You'll go in the opposite rooms. You'll fucking cooler heads will prevail. You'll come back. You'll have a conversation for 20 minutes and you're in a great place. But without having that discussion, we never get to that place.
Whoa. What age do you think we're living in? That's not how it goes down in my house, Lewis.
She fucking listens.
In my house, she gets a fucking slap. She gets told to get her fucking ass in that kitchen, make me a sandwich, put the kettle on, I want a coffee. In the meantime, I'll be taking a nap on the couch. When I wake up, you better have a better fucking attitude, okay? Of course I'm joking. Of course I'm joking.
Of course you got to say you're joking too, which is fucking crazy. It's crazy.
I know. Of course I'm joking.
Straight to the heart. I went a long time acting like I was a broken apart by you.
They were asking you about Louis C.K.
Yes.
and Roseanne. Now,
Yes.
Roseanne was someone who gave you one of your first breaks in
My
show
very
business.
first job, yes.
You were actually writing
I
on
love
Roseanne.
Yes.
And Louis is a friend of
Louis
yours.
is, the greatest comic there is.
And in the defense of them, somehow you got to this point where you said,
Well,
hey,
it wasn't really a defense of them. They asked me, what do you think of Roseanne, and what she did, and how she's doing. That's what they asked.
Yes.
Because I've been in touch with her.
Yeah.
So the day it happened, I phoned Roseanne, because I know Roseanne, and she was crying, and she was so, upset and heartbroken. I felt so bad. And so I said, I don't know what to say to you, Roseanne, because I've never been through this, And I said, let me ask a friend of mine that's been through this. And I was talking about Louis C.K.
Yeah.
Now, Roseanne had been really hard on Louis C.K.
yes, when he was in his controversy, she blasted his
and this
head.
was before he got written up.
Yeah.
She said she named him. She said, "Fucking Louis C.K. is doing a lot of bad things." So
so you had the idea that they should talk to one another.
I talked. Well, Louis did. I talked to Louis, and I said, I was worried about Roseanne because I talked to her for 2 hours in a row. I was just crying the whole time, and I was like, I'm kind of worried about Roseanne. She's not the strongest person mentally.
Right.
And Louis said, I think I should talk to her because very few people have been through what we have been through. This particular, a very peculiar event where you say something or you do something and your career is wiped out forever. And this happens instantaneously. So I said, you should talk to her because you've been there. And they conflated that with me saying, because I said, now the victims went through worse, but it wasn't the same as that.
Yeah, what you said was the victims have, at least they don't lose everything.
Yeah.
That's where you got into trouble.
That's where I got into trouble,
Because
yes.
I have people in my life who are victims of real bad sexual abuse.
I do too, Howard.
Rape, everything.
Yes.
And they go through. It destroys their life. They're never the same.
Oh, of course
their whole bodies shake at the thought of it. Some of them even black out when they think about this thing. It's horrible. So
I know that. And of course, you'd have to have Down syndrome.
Not to know that.
That's my new word.
Down syndrome. Right. That's a good word.
You'd have to have Down syndrome to not feel sorry for, of course, I Me Too is what you want for your daughters. You know what I mean? And you want that to be the future world, of course.
Right.
And I meet all kinds of women that have the terrible stories, about what's happened to them.
So
but I wasn't talking about the victims. I was talking about, they asked me about Roseanne. They asked me about Chris Hardwick. They asked me about Louis. And I told them, like if someone murders someone, and goes to jail, right? And then he gets out of jail after 10 years. And you go, I'm going to give this guy a job washing dishes because he's done his penance.
Right.
Nobody goes, well, what about the people he murdered? Well, of course, they had it off worse,
Yeah.
But I'm talking about the murderer. Give him a dishwasher job,
So do you think that the writer somehow merged all of these thoughts into one thing? Or do you feel you were quoted inaccurately? Or do you feel like you were treated fairly?
Well, I don't know. The original writer was for the Hollywood Reporter.
Right.
And he wrote it, and that wasn't the headline.
Right.
And so I don't know if he even noticed or anything. And then another place called Vulture, which is a WW computer.
Yeah.
They wrote, Norm MacDonald defends Louis Anderson.
Louis C.K. Louis C.K. You can't defend Louis Anderson. What did he do?
I defend, it says, in the headline, Norm MacDonald defends Louis C.K. and Roseanne Barr. And I never defended them. Look at this.
That was me. I met him.
That's you.
Yeah, I met him.
And
well,
Rick
that's me on
Dees.
I was friends with Rick's son, so we saw him the Bad concert at the Coliseum.
Oh.
Way worse story than
Yeah, that.
you got Macaulay Culkin and Michael Jackson played good cop, bad cop with you, and I met him backstage at the Coliseum.
And Rick Dees is just there.
Yeah, I'm more excited about Rick in this photo, to be honest. Did you met? I heard you met Michael Jackson.
I did meet Michael Jackson.
That's pretty goddamn cool.
Yeah, that is insane. It's quite a story. I can try to condense it for you.
Yeah, I love it.
I when I was in 8th grade, I had a girlfriend, and everything fell apart later in my life. But I peaked around 8th grade, and I had a really pretty girlfriend, and her father knew Michael Jackson. He ran a studio or something, and they offered us to go out to Neverland for the day. And so we went up there, and it was probably months before the whole lawsuit and everything.
The first one?
Yeah, and in fact, Macaulay Culkin came by, as were all the boys that sued him, and all this insane stuff. And I did the whole thing. I met the
Wait, what do you mean
monkey.
the whole thing?
You know what I mean. No, I did not. I didn't even do it with my girlfriend. Why was I going to do it with him? I met Bubbles, and I went in Mac and Mike's theme park. It was a water park that he and Macaulay made themselves. They built basically like what every kid would ever want. Water. It was all built-in water guns at every post, and flood buttons, and all these water balloons, hundreds of them. And we were on teams, and I was on his team, and we won.
You were on Michael Jackson.
I was on Michael Jackson's team, and I remember
You met Michael Jackson.
Oh, I hung out with him for the whole time.
That's awesome.
And we won, and then we played a game which now, as I recall it, does sort of seem slightly incriminating, but
go on.
It was called Smoke Tag, and we went into a room that was filled with smoke, and we played tag in it, but you couldn't see anybody. So there was a lot of like tag playing, and that was when Macaulay Culkin was there at that point, and it was the 4th of July weekend, and they were having whole fireworks, and Macaulay Culkin sped up in a golf cart with flames on the side and jumped out with like a leather jacket, and he was like a real punk. And when we played this smoke tag, he threw me on the ground, and we started this like feud that continued throughout the evening. And when we ended up in Michael's toy attic, after we watched a movie in his movie theater, including a retrospective of his own life, and then all the little Culkins were doing impressions of him, like hee hee, and he was sitting there just watched the whole retrospective. He at one point leaned over and said like to Macaulay, oh, remind me, I gotta call Toys R Us. We'll close it down and head out there over the weekend.
Close it down.
Yeah, it was like Elvis closed supermarkets or whatever. And then when we were up in this toy attic where he had, at the time, every gaming system that was around in every game, and Macaulay Culkin he was throwing stuff at me, and then he hit me on the head with something, and I said, don't do that again anymore, or I'm gonna. I was a black belt, but this was years later. I had already forgotten. And he did it again, and I threw him against the wall, and I started slamming him against the wall, saying, "I told you not to fucking." And then Michael Jackson came in between us. You can let your mind rest there for a second.
I imagine the thing of the bad video.
Yeah, and he parted us, and he put his arm around me, and he was like, sorry, Mac can get a little. Rambunctious, and he's like, so where are you from? And I was like, oh, I live in, Los Angeles. Oh, yeah. He's like, how old are you? And I said, oh, I'm 12. And he said, oh, you Jewish? Which was like, fuck, it still is. I don't know where that segue came from. And I said, I am. He said, oh, you gonna have a Hanukkah? And I said, what? And he said, Hanukkah. Are you going to have a Hanukkah? And I was like, I mean, he's like, I was like, every year I'll have one. I mean, and he's like, yeah, no, when you become a man. And I was like, oh, well, bar mitzvah. He's like, yeah. And I said, yeah. And as soon as I said when I became a man, he shoved me away. I don't like him like that. No, but, and then I spent the night in his life-size dollhouse.
Jesus.
With my girlfriend at the time.
So you got to bring a girl there.
I had a girl there.
Oh, that's cool.
That's pretty amazing.
But it was absolutely the craziest thing. And I grew up, for me, it was that, you know, Thriller was that was
the greatest
everything.
album ever. That's probably the craziest thing that'll ever happen to you in your whole life.
I often think that.
Yeah.
I look around a room and I'm like, nobody else here has ever had anything.
Amazing.
I got to go into I did go into his bedroom, and I went into his closet, and it's when he would wear the red shirt, black pants, fedora, mirror sunglasses, and his closet, it was like a cartoon. It was literally about 150 red shirts, 150 black pants, 150 fedora. It was like,
that's incredible.
You know, and he had a TV that came out of the ground. I'd never seen anything like it.
That's a pretty goddamn cool story.
That beats the hell out of your story about getting fucked by Dan Fogelberg.
2 times today I've said something in
Dan
confidence.
Fogelberg's a great guy.
If I actually got fucked by Dan Fogelberg.
Even like you say, your unwanted WNT allegations against Michael Jackson. There had to be kids that were like, well, "This is pretty cool."
Yeah.
This is not some old priest.
You know, we have some news stories here. I just wanted to cover. Let's see what's in the news, actually.
Okay.
You know, we got this one here, the international news. We have a new pope, and
how about all that crap made about that?
What
with
crap?
the black smoke and the white smoke and the millions of people?
Yeah.
I know the last thing the cardinal asked is, okay, before we elect a new pope, everyone raise your hand who molested a kid. Unanimous. I would like to see this. I brought this clip. Run it. This is how I would like to see the election of the Pope.
The election of the Pope?
Yes, run it.
As, here it is.
Here it
well,
is.
this isn't the...
no, this isn't it. Oh, there it is.
There it is.
There's the crowd. Now watch. Watch. All right, the door's going to open. And there's the Pope. There's the Pope. That's the Pope.
We should explain to the folks that was Michael Jackson.
Let's explain. Yeah, explain who Michael Jackson is to the people.
Everyone knows Michael Jackson. What are you, retarded?
Here's your apology. I got it.
Oh, you got it. Good, because I forgot my password.
Roseanne and Louis have been both very good friends of mine for many years. They both made terrible mistakes, and I would never defend their actions. If my words sounded like I was minimizing the pain that their victims feel to this day, I am deeply sorry.
Yeah, I am.
Yeah.
I am sorry.
All right. Listen, Norm has a show.
Oh, man. Is this how it's going to end?
I don't know. Who's your? I like that guy you work with on the show, by the way. What's
Adam Egan.
What's his deal?
He's my sidekick.
Is he a comic?
No.
Who is he?
He's a guy.
How's he get on your show?
I wanted to get a guy because I was like...
Is he your Ed McMahon, or is he more like Robin, who is really in there with me?
No, he's not like Robin.
No,
he's
more like Ed
McMahon. He's not a strong person.
No.
You know how Ed McMahon was kind of afraid of Carson and stuff like that?
No.
And so I thought, what if you really amp that up? So I didn't want to get a comedian that would give blowback to me.
Right.
I just want a guy that I could crush.
Right. You wanted a guy.
Can we bring him in?
Well, maybe that's a good way to end. Because you know, look, I mean, you got your own troubles. Yes. I understand. Let me ask him the question. Do you support Me Too, or are you one of these?
Oh, gosh,
let's see if he can get you the trouble. You do support me.
Of course.
Norm says you don't.
Oh, well.
Yeah. He says you're a Cro-Magnon.
He's ready to change his mind if he has to.
Yeah, how did you get on Norm's talk show? I mean, I watch you on YouTube. I like you. I like how
I appreciate that.
I like how you guys interact. But what is your background to be on Norm's show?
Well, I mean, Norm and I have known each other for many years. Yeah, I used to manage the Improv in Tempe, and now I book the Comedy Store.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
When he was a young man, he did He did stuff that, you know.
What did he do?
What stuff?
Uh-oh, here we go.
When you're a young man, kern can be hard to come by.
Oh,
you know
yes.
what I mean?
Yeah, money.
And you do what you can. And this was in New York City. Where it's
So you dealt drugs? What did you do?
Well, you know the Queensboro Bridge?
Yes.
Well,
is this true?
I guess.
What did you do at the
I guess
Queensboro
I can
Bridge?
say.
Were you a male hooker?
No. I can say it in the way that's more. When he was a young man living here in New York City, he used to jerk off punks under the Queensboro Bridge, $15 a man.
Is that right? You jerked off guys for $15 a man to
He's
make
not
money.
homosexual. He's not gay.
That's not gay if you're doing it for money, I guess.
I mean, this is the economy's changed, you know?
Right.
It doesn't sound great now.
No, it doesn't. Never
Sounds wrong. Sounds like you're a gigolo.
No, he's not. It wasn't like Richard Gere.
No, it's the opposite.
Part of it was like Richard Gere.
No, but you guys do a nice thing together. I love it, and I watched you guys from the YouTube days.
Oh, that's
now you're on.
That's
love it. Love it.
Well, I love you both so much.
Yeah, I love
Imagine
Norm.
being in here.
I'm shocked right
But
now.
most days we would never have you in. But you're
rightfully so.
Because Norm is in so much trouble right now and got kicked off the Tonight Show. We brought you in as like kind of the buffer. We didn't want to end on that note.
This fucker. You know, I wrote a book. I put him in the book. Made him a literary figure.
Right.
I made him a sidekick on a TV show.
Jesus.
As soon as he gets a little bit of fame, he dumps me for Spade.
Really? Is that true?
I didn't dump him for.
Yeah, you fucking did.
No, I mean,
come over here and give me a hand job and let me see what you got all that money for.
Drives.
I used to go.
Did you use lotion with that or what?
I used to go and take him. We go to diners and have fun, and I'd have him open for me on the road. Then Spade shows up. I'll take you to meals. He takes me these meals, got courses and shit.
Yeah. I got friends like that. Yeah. They go to the highest bidder.
I bet you got Spade. You got Spades. When's the last time you talked to Spade? Honest to God.
This morning.
This morning.
Wow.
Yeah. You never told me this.
Well,
you talked to Spade this morning.
Yeah.
He's been great. Like, you both have been great.
Are you jealous
I love you both.
of Spade because he has a friendship with your man?
Well, because Spade has 1 billion friends.
Yeah, right. You only have one. What is it, Gary?
You know, I met him before. I met this guy before. Spade took him to Ocello for the whole weekend.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, to the hotel, tickets.
He did?
Yeah.
You didn't know?
It was
motherfucker.
I never got to see the Rolling Stones. It was amazing.
Yeah. Oh, my God.
I took you to the
to see Billy Joe Shaver at the Roxy.
Yeah.
Who paid for the fucking Holiday Inn? Express.
That's true. No, that is true.
Hey, Norm, you know what I realized? When you got fired from SNL, you did our show the next day.
I did.
And now that you're in trouble with SNL, I hope they don't. I mean, now you're on here. Again.
Hopefully, the tradition
ends.
It is weird.
Yeah.
You know, like I guess this is where you go when you're in trouble.
You're my father confessor.
I think so.
Yeah.
All right.
Hey, what about this joke? You want to hear a joke?
Yeah. Yes,
you should end on it.
You know, why don't you end on
this show, the
right,
show
Robin,
I love it when he tells a joke.
The show me and we do jokes. You know what I mean?
I know you're in a shitstorm right now. I know there's controversy. What is your prediction, by the way? What's your name again?
Adam Eager.
Yeah,
Adam Eager.
I know it. Adam, what is your prediction? Has Norm explained himself properly?
Phone Spade.
Yes. Why don't you go be with your buddy?
Look, I think everyone that listened today, I think that they can all see that Norm is clearly really, really sorry about this. And
you're upset about it.
No, I was up all night. I mean,
you just want to make people laugh? Is that what you're saying?
I don't hurt people, you know?
I've known him many years. He doesn't have that capacity.
Robin,
really
do you think Norm has addressed this situation?
I think Norm did a very good job.
I do my best. I mean, I'm not a politician, you know, but
you're not. You will never run for office.
Not now.
Norm's guest, by the way, on the show. I'm very impressed with this list. Lorne Michaels, David Letterman, Jane Fonda, fabulous.
Yeah.
I love her.
Yeah, I love her too.
Michael Keaton, Chevy Chase.
Chevy. Yeah.
What did you learn from Chevy?
Well,
you did the news, and Chevy did the news.
Yes, he did.
Did you thank Chevy for starting the news?
You know what? I did.
You did.
Because and I remember when Chevy came on Saturday Night Live, and everybody treated him like a dick. You know, like he was a dick.
Right.
And I said, we might not have a job because of this guy. You know, and my theory about Chevy was when he started SNL, he was this young punk kid, and he'd say anything about anybody.
Right.
That was what was cool about him.
He was a rebel.
Yeah, he's a rebel. Then he ages like we all.
Tell us about it. It's the rules. It's how to capture a man's heart, and it's for women. And it says all these rules that you have to follow, and you will capture a man's heart. And the rule number 1: have huge breasts. Yeah, that guy likes it. Yeah, because apparently men love women with huge breasts.
They do. They like that.
Newlyweds Tommy Lee and Pamela Anderson had their first argument this week. He wants kids, while she wants fake kids. Pop singer Madonna was outraged this week when a tabloid photographer snapped her picture while she was breastfeeding her new baby. Apparently, the baby was blocking her nipple. Connecticut legislatures are about to pass a law that would make it illegal to prohibit breastfeeding in public. Then, hopefully, these legislatures will also change the fascist law that the person being breastfed in public has to be a baby. Michael Jackson has reportedly stepped right into his new role as a dad, spending many hours a day with his newborn son, doing the changing, the burping, even the breastfeeding. So, it's nice when a fella does that. Asked recently what will set his new Batman film apart from its predecessors, Batman and Robin director Joel Schumacher said, quote, "In this one, all the costumes will have nipples." Note to self, do not watch the next Batman and Robin. Well, Premiere Magazine's list of the 100 most powerful people in Hollywood hit the newsstands this month. In an odd bit of ranking, Demi Moore was ranked number 28, while her breasts were ranked 20 and 21. So, in an interview out this week, Demi Moore says she would like to have another baby, this time a boy, to go along with her 3 daughters and 2 huge breasts. Demi Moore is wrapped filming on G.I. Jane, in which she plays a Navy SEAL combat officer. Moore says that in contrast to other Hollywood portrayals of women in the military, her character will have giant breasts. Actor Bruce Willis is filming his next movie, The Broadway Brawler, in Wilmington, Delaware. Meanwhile, his wife, Demi Moore, is taking a break from movie work, saying she wants to spend more time with her huge breasts.
I'm scared of letting go, go, go. I'm scared of letting go, go, go. I'm scared of letting go, go, go. I'm scared of letting go of everything and
I think it's attractive.
I like Anna Nicole Smith.
Oh, stop
come on.
it. You're full.
You don't like her?
Come on.
You don't like Anna Nicole Smith?
Come on, she's gotten heavy. He's putting me on.
No, I'm not.
I
I saw a picture of her recently where she was really, really fat, where she didn't look good.
Right, but you're talking about years ago when she was thin. Oh, okay.
Not that long ago. Yeah, a couple of years ago.
So you like big breasts?
Yeah, I like big breasts.
Does your wife have big breasts?
She has normal size
What,
breasts.
C cups?
I don't know. I hear you talking about those. I don't follow those. Go how like big cups.
You're in bad shape. Do you like Sally Struthers too?
Oh,
I did.
You
yeah.
did, right? Yeah, that's your type.
Oh my
like
God,
blonde
I
and
love
buxom.
Sally Struthers.
Not anymore though.
What?
Well, you don't like her anymore.
No, I don't like her with the flies around her.
Yeah, it's kind of a turn off.
It's fun doing jokes.
Yeah.
Why do dogs always race to the door when the doorbell rings? It's almost never for them. You know the funniest part of doing an office conga line? When you look back and realize you're doing it alone and you're not in an office, you're in a psychiatric hospital. I've never been on top of trends, I guess. You know, when everybody was burning CDs, I was still burning books. Crowds in Brazil greeted arriving Olympians with signs reading, "Welcome to hell." I had a wild night last night, boy. I was in an orgy. It was me, my iPad, my laptop, and TV while my phone watched. It's more of a comment, really. I'd like to take this moment to say I endorse podiums. That's a product I can stand behind. What about this one? This is for you.
Yesterday I had a picture framed. Now it's doing time upstate for armed robbery.
Well, listen to this. Catherine Zeta-Jones admitted she is bipolar half the time. She's deliriously happy, and the other time she has to suck an old man's cock. That's dirty. Come on, man.
A new study shows that most men can identify a gay man by his face alone. It's the face that's buried in another man's asshole.
Hey, how about this? The Dalai Lama said that killing in the name of religion is unthinkable. Hey, thanks, Dalai Lama. I'm sure everybody will fucking listen to you. No one listens to the Dalai Lama.
No one.
I need to have glasses in order to see my family. Specifically, 2 glasses of scotch.
The Al-Qaeda online magazine Inspire has a recipe for a homemade bomb. They also have a recipe for a pretty darn good peach cobbler.
So they're not all bad, you know? A new study found that men with beards are more attractive than men without beards. More great work from the University of Bob Seger.
I think there's nothing cooler than being a lone wolf, except at wolf picnics when you don't have a partner for the wolf wheelbarrow races.
No, listen, my girlfriend's mad at me right now. Last night when we were having sex, I yelled the name of her ex-boyfriend. Nice fellow. A surname you don't hear much anymore, Flintstone. This one's more like a factoid.
Danny DeVito looks like one of those guys with a short but thick penis.
Okay, here, what about this joke? Call me an old softy. But I'd prefer if you called me a distinguished gentleman with a flagging erection. John Wayne Gacy, man. Not my idea of a clown.
Not funny at all.
No.
That guy wasn't funny.
Barbara Walters announced that she's retiring from The View. Well, actually, she announced it 5 years ago, but no one could hear her over those yammering bitches.
Hey, how about this one? They say pimping ain't easy, Andy. But what they won't tell you is much, much more difficult being a prostitute. Pimping is pretty easy. Barbara Walters is planning to announce her retirement. What's next for Babs? Death. Well, isn't this wild? When I was told I was going to perform for a bunch of drones, I thought I was being booked on The View. You ever read a book? Oh, you read that communist thing?
Yeah, I read the Marxist Manifesto.
Who was the better man?
Okay.
Dr. Martin Luther King? Stalin. Hey, by the way, I've noticed the term adult toy always refers to something you can shove up your asshole and never like a big race car, like for a grown-up.
Another good observation.
Yeah.
Growing up, I never would have believed that one day I'd need a computer just to masturbate.
It is strange when you think about it. In my opinion, if you're going to fight the war on terror, a good place to start would be this nation's haunted houses. You know, I may have told you this, but my doctor's getting very rude. The last time I went to him, he said, open your mouth and say oink. I remember, sometimes I get so PC about these things. That movie, The Last of the Mohicans, and they had a big protest. Apparently they weren't using any actual Mohicans. Anyways, white girls who wear big hoop earrings may be guilty of, quote, cultural appropriation. And they risk getting a curse put on them by peeved gypsy fortune tellers. Wait a minute. These are great jokes, by the way, Steve. Congrats.
Oh, good.
As always. Here's one for you. Here.
Artifacts from Auschwitz are set to go on tour for the first time.
You guys won't stop.
Experts believe that this will be Miley Cyrus's darkest opening act yet.
Wow. I know the Bible says not to covet thy neighbor's wife. Right. But it doesn't say a damn thing about coveting thy neighbor's husband, especially a sweet, hot fucking asshole.
This is sweet hot. Is that in there?
Hey, you're not going to believe this, but Bill Maher is giving away the solution to all our problems for free.
Las Vegas is now home to a 550-foot-tall Ferris wheel. Also drawing thousands to Las Vegas, whores.
My father was recently diagnosed with shingles, which is a terrible sickness that usually only affects roofs. I think the reason I most look forward to China ruling the earth is that all of their last names sound like slang for cock. I'll tell you a joke. You know they had a big black mass devil worship this week, apparently? But I skipped it because I believe you can be just as close to Satan on a golf course as in some stuffy old satanic church.
Deep throat porn legend Harry Reams.
Yeah,
he died. But how are they
know
going to
who
close
that
that
is?
casket? I mean, because no, the Swiss think I hate that. It's great. Thanks.
This one says, remember the old days when tweeting meant stabbing a hooker? Well, this Lindsay Lohan can't swim a stroke, but she sure knows every dive in town.
That one I like.
I don't know much about geopolitics, but that is one cool name for a country, Chad. I know. Yeah. Hey, how about this one?
Yeah, okay. A 28-year-old med student is auctioning off her virginity online. For $300,000, you can have the worst sex of your life. That's good.
That ain't
That's
bad.
good.
That ain't
Who
bad.
writes these?
Oh, well. This is what you never hear. He made love to me in the ass. Oh, a woman from Denmark I met at a party was telling me how awful she thinks Trump is. So I shot back, yeah, well, you guys have that asshole Hans Christian Andersen.
That's funny.
It's just my patriotism.
When I was a child, my parents told me my uncle was sleeping with the fishes, which at the time I assumed meant he bought a waterbed. Then I found out he had been killed and his body buried at sea.
Dave, say what you will about Elon Musk, but with his new plan to bring people to Mars, nobody is a more creative serial killer. A new report from the CDC states that only 1/3 of Americans use condoms, while 2/3 of Americans are still pretty cool.
Get out! Why do you get a good one? That was good.
My dad would hit me with the belt sometimes.
Yeah, you would have to
But
go
it was
get.
the worst when he was the reigning WWE.
Okay.
You know, I was raised Catholic, and when people find out, they always assume there was some creepy priest involved, you know. But they never suspect the deacon.
Fucking asshole.
Adam Egan with a joke.
Norm was just making me laugh. He was telling me, he said something that's so true.
What did he say?
He just did stand up down in Florida.
Right.
Like in Florida is such a different world with people. Like there's a lot of creepy people in Florida, like swingers, you know.
Right.
And he,
what?
like after you do a stand-up gig, people from the audience will come up to you, like an overly tan, like guy with a bunch of jewelry on. And they'll say, "Hey man, come back to my apartment.
Is Artie telling my story?
Yes, he is.
Dad, you want to tell it? You tell it.
Yeah, why don't you let
I
Norm?
go, hey,
Norm's here, but
hey,
Norm
fucking
can't
bring 3
speak.
stories, and then Artie will tell one. I'm like, what?
Yeah, that's pretty
How
good.
the fuck did that work
Yeah,
out?
why do we need you?
What
Just
the
tell your
fuck?
stories to
Norm,
Artie.
what happened in Florida? Why is doing
Is that
stand-up?
what
Why?
No.
Yeah, that wasn't a story I brought. I was
Why?
just telling them.
Why is doing stand-up in Florida? What is Artie talking about?
No, because in Florida, where I just was, they have people that, I don't know what the fuck they do, but everybody got money. I guess, like, they had Coke for years, like, thousands of pounds of Coke, and I don't know if guys still do it, or I don't know what the fuck.
Yeah, there is a lot of coke there, but you're right. People are rich, and people are rich, and you don't know why. Like they're just in your face with
So
money.
a guy picks me up. He's a limo driver, and he's like, fucking guy goes, yeah. He goes, I can take you any place, man. Anything you want. I go, what? He goes, anything you want. He goes, I got my wife. I go, your wife? Like, I thought he was talking about like drugs or something. He starts with his wife.
He could take you to his wife.
He's got his wife.
Says I can get anything I want, and then he goes, my wife.
Don't you want his wife?
Was he offering you his wife?
I don't fucking know. But it wasn't. It was all weekend long. I just meet 4 or 5 guys, and they go, hey, so this is the wife, and this is the other wife, and how about the 8 of us?
Oh, yeah?
Well, they wouldn't say it right out, but you kind of go, oh, what are you talking about? Why are
These guys are trying to deal you their wives?
No, they all want to swing.
No, you
They
don't
wanna
know what the
swing.
fuck. You don't really know what the fuck's going on. 'Cause
How
they don't
come-
come
why-
right out and say they want to fuck you.
Why does everyone want to swing with you, do you think? I mean,
Not
are
me,
you so-
anyone.
No,
anyone.
they ask. I've gone deeper into the conversation than Norm did with these
Yeah.
people because it's fascinating, and I wanted drugs. But no,
it
they'll
involves
tell
drugs
you.
like crazy.
They'll tell you eventually. Like, look, there's me, and this is my wife, and this is her friend Nancy, and this is my friend Ed. You know,
Yeah.
and we'll get some
Ed's
ecstasy.
where it becomes problematic.
Nancy was fine.
Yeah,
Ed's a
everything's
problem.
going good. All of a sudden, Ed, what the fuck?
And Nancy's usually 46.
Who the
and
fuck
she's at
is
work
Earl?
done.
Who the fuck was this guy? Nobody told me about a guy coming out of a closet whacking off with his half-hard cock. Where the fuck did he come from?
Wait, they say, well,
Things
I'll
were
go to-
going really well in the fantasy. You, Nancy, and Shirley, and suddenly Earl walks in.
Yeah, what the fuck? You never told me. And then
in
they're like,
your
well,
ass.
if we brought it up, we thought you'd say no. Of course I'd fucking say no.
Earl was an afterthought.
There's always a hot tub and ecstasy and pills, and they go,
You know
come
what?
back and we'll all fuck.
You know,
And you're like, I don't want to fuck
like,
anybody.
Like I lived in a, you live in a hot climate. You live in a hot climate. There's
Yes.
not a whole lot to do. You rely on other people, and it becomes like an orgy state. I think
that
that's
what
what
it becomes?
I think. You know, like I lived in Detroit for a while, and there wasn't a lot going
That's
on.
different.
And people just sort
Detroit?
of. Yeah, when I lived in Detroit, people would just sort of congregate together because there wasn't a lot of outside stimulation. You relied on others.
Right, Detroit was mostly rape.
No, not you're talking about the suburbs. I'm talking about in the suburbs of Detroit. You know,
okay.
Detroit itself is a horror scene, but people would begin to rely on each other for entertainment. I think that's what happens, and then there's this weird,
creepy, right?
creepy thing that happens where people just start
the
having
celebrity's
sex with each
coming to town, and we kind of know he wants to party, and he can fuck my wife and her friend, and I'll fuck him.
There's a lot. That's kind of unsaid.
Yeah.
You know, the
Yeah,
part
well,
about
who's
where a
taking-
guy's fucking me.
Who's taking them up on these offers? They
At
must
the end
be
of the
working.
night,
lot of comics.
I guess the idea is
Doug Stanhope.
Doug Stanhope. So anyways, I go, no, I go, listen, basically, I'm not a fancy guy. Fred, you know that.
Really? I always thought of you as a fancy
My
guy.
thing is, like, for a sexual encounter or something, I like to lie on top of a lady. I don't need a lot of fucking shit going on.
One girl will do it.
Yeah.
Are you currently
That's exciting enough for you.
Are you
That's
currently
good,
in a
man.
relationship, or are you playing the field?
Oh my God.
What the fuck? What are you,
Are
retarded?
are you really having a relationship? Come on,
Come on, man. Seriously, what the fuck? Listen.
So, Jenny, what month was your issue?
Quoting Churchill.
May of 08. Who was on the cover? Do you remember?
It was a Russian girl. And my nickname's Genocide, so I think that was kind of funny.
What?
What? What do you mean?
Is Genocide giving her comedy fucking advice?
Why is that? It's funny because there was a genocide.
In Russia?
Only about 70 years ago.
Against the Russian people.
Who still lives?
But me. That's not
You
it.
first,
Huh?
Czechoslovakia. No, it was
the
it wasn't a complete genocide.
What do you mean?
No, it was.
Well, Stalin was a mass murderer.
Only Jewish people seem to get really offended by my nickname.
There are 5s in a case.
Dave's getting bored.
Right,
Well,
because they're the only ones that live.
Well, the only
through
true genocide was the. Well, I don't
Sam,
want to say.
another
What
one
about the
this way,
American
Sam.
Indians? That was a true genocide.
Wow. What?
The American Indians was a true genocide.
No, that was for land.
No, that was justified.
That was for land. We were taking their property.
No,
It doesn't matter. What does it matter what the motive
No,
is?
the genocide.
Yeah, the motive
against
is
the
to
Indians
just
was
hatred of a race to exterminate them
It was
without a
just- it was
political or economic
justifiable
agenda.
What we did with the Indians.
Well, it's not
No,
justifiable.
well, who's saying it's justified?
I said, well,
You got to bury them.
I'm just wondering how it's justified.
point counterpoint.
You've never
I'm trying to take another
You've never heard the legal term justifiable genocide? Hitler was out of his mind at the time. Clearly insane.
I'm trying to take another opinion so we can have some friction here. It's a television show, honey. I can't agree with
This guy
everything you
fancies
say.
himself a modern day Bill Maher.
Thank you for the dumb opinion.
Some days we get closer. Things that we never really needed. Promises that we never thought of keeping safe. I guess it's never over. If we never got a chance.
You know, with Hitler, the more I learn about that guy, the more I don't care for him. I can't. And there's nothing redeeming about the guy. I tell the guys, I go, how on earth could these Germans follow this lunatic, you know? And they're like, oh, he was an incredible public speaker, you know? He could hypnotize you with his public speaking. And then I see him, he's like, I go, what? That's not my idea of a silver-tongued devil, you know?
First of all, I know you're a big sports fanatic.
Oh, I
but
love sports.
You're also a guy that keeps up on the news, and there's big news out there in the sporting world.
The big news is Oscar Pistorius.
Yeah, huge news.
And I don't like him, don't care for him, never did.
Really? You don't like Oscar Pistorius even before he... What are you doing?
I have something in my tooth.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. I didn't like him.
You're saying, I mean, a lot of people don't like him now that he murdered
people,
somebody, but,
yeah.
but before that...
Allegedly. But also, really.
Yeah.
But, but, yeah, I don't have problems with the murder.
Right.
But what I never liked him racing with them things that looked like something Wile E. Coyote would order. And
what?
Well,
you had a problem with him racing with his blades. His blades. He was the blade runner.
Yes, he
Those
was.
Teflon blades.
I did have a big problem with it because, well, I'll put it this way. Let's imagine you're a runner, you know, with legs.
Yeah.
And then you go home, you go, oh, I lost, honey. Who'd you lose to? Guy with no legs.
Wait, you're saying that you didn't like that Oscar Pistorius raced against people with legs?
No, I don't. I feel that one of the basic requirements of being a sprinter is having legs. I feel that they should say, okay, listen, let's, here's the, hey, what about you? I don't think you can be on the team. Why not? Well, you're not a biped. You have no legs, so scram.
Okay.
You take your time as long as you want. But get the hell out of here.
No one's going with you on this. Nobody is with you on this at all.
Except the feller at home that's like, that son of a bitch I lost my race to that got no legs.
Are you saying he had an unfair advantage because he had these?
Well, of course, he had rocket ships.
They're not rocket ships.
Okay.
Andy, help me out here.
No, it's still him running.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Well, guys, I agree with you then. Oscar Pistorius is a scholar and a gentleman.
All right.
He's a murderer.
Really turned it around on us.
Alleged murderer.
Thanks so much for coming. Norm, people don't know this. Norm MacDonald is not feeling well. He's been sick, but he was a real trooper, and he showed up anyway.
I've been sick like for 3 days. I was barfing and had diarrhea and everything.
Okay, well, we didn't need to know,
I know,
that.
but-
You could have said I've been feeling a little
the
flu-ish.
weather.
Yeah, a little under the weather. But you're feeling okay right now?
Yeah. You know, when I got kind of a hypochondriac, so when I get sick, I want to find out if I'm going to die, you know, from it.
Mm-hmm.
And so I try to like think, where did I get the sickness? You ever do that?
Yeah, you figure out, did I come in contact with some, you know,
Yeah.
how did I get it?
Yeah, did I get, because I know, like, Ross Abrash, this guy who works up on Saturday Night Live, he was sick last week. I thought maybe I got it from him.
Mm-hmm.
I remember I ate some shellfish a few days ago.
Mm-hmm.
And then yesterday, I got stabbed with a rusty syringe by this 80-pound homeless guy.
Probably Ross Abrash,
Yeah.
if I'm guessing right.
Yeah, it was Ross Abrash.
Yeah, right. It probably was him.
And
so,
then, do you know Tanya Addy?
Who?
She works on your show. I just talked to her.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't talk to people on my show. I deal with everyone through lawyers and intermediaries.
Oh, my Lord.
I'm like Elvis in like 1976. I'm in a room with the shades drawn, eating a lot of peanut butter, shooting out TV sets.
Holy Lord.
Yeah. Yeah. Go to town, my friend. What about her?
Who?
You are feeling a little unwell,
I
aren't
just
you?
wanted to see if you remember her name.
Sure.
What?
Yeah.
I just told you.
Yeah, Tanya.
Yeah, Tanya, what's her last name?
Oh, come on. We got to get the show going. Now.
But she was telling me, this is interesting, she was telling me that, you know that movie, The Elephant Man?
Yeah.
We were just talking about it backstage, and I always thought it was a stupid movie, and she said it's a really good movie, and I said the stupidest thing in it is because, you know that part where the guy says, I am a human, I am not an elephant, I am a human being.
I'm not a monster, I think. Whatever. I'm a human. And I'm not an animal. I'm a human
Right.
being. Yeah.
Tanya just pointed that out to me, that I am not an animal.
Right.
Because I always thought it was stupid. Like, the guy doesn't even hardly look like an elephant. So why would he
You would be the worst movie critic in the world. You know, if you had your own movie criticism show and you came on and this whole movie sucked. He's not an. Oh wait. Oh, I'm sorry. Forget what I said.
Anyway, that has nothing to do with anything. It's just Tanya and I were talking backstage.
Yeah. Tanya who? Quick.
Addy.
Aha, right. See, I knew. You got the weekend update coming up.
Yeah.
You got some topical jokes that
Yeah.
you got brewing.
Yeah.
I know you. Your mind's always going.
I'm always thinking about the jokes from the paper, you know, so I can come on, especially when I come on your show, you know.
Sure.
You know how I come on your show and I always try to have some jokes from the newspaper?
Sort of like now, yeah.
Yeah. So here's the joke I got.
Yeah.
Y'all know about this woman, right, from Denmark that left her baby out in the street?
Yeah.
How do you feel about that, folks? Yeah. I don't like it either. I don't think that's right.
Yeah. Good joke.
Oh, no.
You know,
that was the premise I was
Update would be so easy for you. It'd be such a great gig if that's all you did.
That's all I
What do you
did.
think about that, Boo? Yeah, all right. And in another story, President Clinton hurt his knee. What do you think? Oh, too bad. Yeah, okay.
No, the point of it is this. I have a joke about it.
Okay.
Because they got reunited today.
Oh.
It was in the newspaper, in the New York Post and the New York Daily News. And so I was thinking, now they're flying back to Denmark, and this crazy woman puts the baby out on the wing.
You want to try another one, or you want to? It's your choice.
I think the fever's breaking.
There was another one in the paper today.
You realize that this now doubles the pressure on this one.
Right.
So
No,
everyone, this creates a real tense TV
I
moment.
swear to God, this one will really do well. This one concerns a fella that won the lottery.
Uh-huh.
And he was a garbage man. He won the lottery. He won the New York State lottery. And he won like $8 million. And he said he's not going to quit his job. And you've always heard that, right?
Right. I'm going to keep my job.
I'm going to keep my job. And there's only one occupation where the person does not keep his job when he
wins the lottery.
Wins the lottery. You know what that occupation is?
No.
Crack whore.
That was amazing. You pulled it out. I was worried about you for a minute. I thought you were in deep trouble. I thought you might get backed into a corner, have a lot more pressure on you, and then not have anything.
I know.
But the pitch came in low and towards the middle, and you put it out of the park.
No, I didn't.
What are you talking about? When people hear crack whore, they just start laughing.
They like that.
That's just the reaction people have.
It's cartoon birds fly in and sing a song. Crack whore.
What are you doing now?
I just saw on the TV my hair.
Okay. All right. What we're going to do is we're going to take a little commercial break.
Okay, great.
And I'm going to get security in here. And then we're going to come back and we're going to talk to you some more because you're going to have some fluids during the break and stuff.
Fluids?
Yeah, you'll see. We'll get that Tanya girl to get them for you.
I thought when you said that, I thought you meant fluids out of my ass.
You know, a couple of times in the 4 years I've been doing this show, someone has stopped me just before I went to commercial to try one more joke. That was the most worthwhile of all this time. We'll take a break, everybody. We'll be right back. Everybody, we're with a rehydrated Norm MacDonald. How you doing?
Good, man.
You know, I'm over here, yeah. You did the White House Correspondents' Dinner.
Oh, yeah,
I didn't catch the whole thing. I caught, I think, the second half of your act. This is a big tradition in Washington. The president speaks, and then they get a comedian to speak.
Yeah.
And you did a great job. You were really funny.
They have the president comes up and talks, and he has a lot of fun. He does jokes, you know. I didn't know that. I thought he'd just talk about the country and stuff like that. But he does jokes.
Yeah.
And then he kills, you know. He does great. Because he's the president, you know? And then you have to go on after him, after the president.
See, I did it one year, and I was the last guy, I think, who got to do it. I went first, and then the president spoke about issues and stuff, and it's much better that way.
Yeah.
But you had to follow him.
You had to follow the president, you know, and that's not good, you know? You ever hear that? There's an old show business maxim. Never follow the leader of the free world. You know?
I know that one, yeah.
I can't even follow Carrot Top, you know? I'm trying to follow this character, you know?
You know, we have a photo of Carrot Top always on the ready. Don't we have a photo of Carrot Top, Liz?
Let's see,
just
where
to
is it?
put it up, just so people can see Carrot Top.
He's a good guy.
Yeah, but how did it went good? I saw some, you know.
Yeah.
It must have been an impressive event.
It was cool to meet the president. Although he's all crippled up now, he's got like...
That's not politically correct. He's all crippled up.
What do you call it?
He's just disabled.
Disabled,
at
yeah.
the moment.
He's handicapped.
There you go.
Actually, when you think about it, he's handicapped, and he's the president of the United States. He must have an unbelievable parking spot. When you think about it, you know? That guy, right? He's got to be...
It's a short walk.
Yeah, it's very close to the building.
Uh-huh.
But, you know, when you have to... they made me screen my jokes with the Secret Service. You know those guys?
Yeah.
And so I had to give my jokes to Secret Service, and they were reading them, and they don't laugh, those guys, you know? They're not big laughers.
They didn't.
They're not risible. A guy told me that word. You know what that means?
I don't know who you are tonight. Let alone what that word is.
No, that word means, that's something for you to learn there. That word means easy to make laugh. Risible.
Risible.
Risible. Easy to make laugh.
Good, yeah. Okay, we wish we had some risible people in here tonight. Oh, yeah?
So.
Let's pack the audience with some risible people.
No, I don't blame them.
No, not at all. Why should you blame them?
So, no, they're good. They're good people.
They should have just gone crazy at crack whore.
But I'll tell you this about the Secret Service.
They have to learn a lot and come back.
I'll tell you this about the Secret Service.
Yes.
I admire them because they have a tough job. Their job is to get shot. That's their job, getting shot in the belly.
Well, No, I think their job is, maybe that's a byproduct of their job.
No, that's their job.
Oh, really?
Yeah, their job's not just to hang around, listening in their ear things. Nobody cares about that. The president, he wants, if anybody wants to shoot him, he says to the guys, he goes, listen, instead of them shooting me, do you mind if they shoot you in the belly?
Do you think he talks to him like that? They have a little huddle before he goes somewhere?
Yeah. And man, I'm telling you, man, but it's scary because when I did my talk, they told me about the podium is like bulletproof and everything. The president has all, and before he goes into a room, they bring a bunch of dogs in to sniff out guns, you know? And it's like like if I was the president, holy God, I'd be scared the whole time.
Really?
You know?
Well, no, he's well protected.
No, but still, everybody wants to kill you. I mean, not everybody. Most people like you. You're the president.
Right.
But a lot of guys want to kill you.
I don't think that's necessarily true.
Oh, believe me, I was there.
And did you meet anybody, any heroes of yours? You meet any big celebrities?
Yeah, I met Larry Flint. He's not my hero, but he's a guy. He's a famous guy.
Sure, he's famous. He's well known.
Yeah, I enjoy meeting famous guys,
Sure.
you know. And he came out, he's in a wheelchair, and he talks like this. He goes, "Gah, but he was, it's not his fault. It's not his fault.
No,
He was shot. So he said, because I was in the movie The People Against Larry Flint.
Versus Larry. You were in the movie. The People versus. It was a famous movie, and you're in it.
I was in it. I was one of the people that was versusing him.
Okay.
So I said to him, he said to me, hey, no, he's a good guy. He's a good guy. No, but this is what he said to me, Conan. He goes, hey, when you're in Los Angeles, you know, I told him I was coming to Los Angeles. He goes, when you're in Los Angeles, he goes, look me up. He goes, I'll take care of you.
When other people say that, you think like, that means nothing. But coming from him,
like if my Uncle Phil told me that from Minneapolis, I'd think if he went, hey, I'll take care of you when you come to Minneapolis. That means like I'll make you a nice chicken pot pie. You know? But Larry Flint, that means, you know, I'll get you a couple of hot, dirty broads, you know, and then while you're having sex with them, I'll come into my wheelchair. You know? Who knows what it means?
Okay. Well, Saturday Night Live, season finale. I should tell them about this.
Yeah, it's going to be a good one.
Yeah.
Jeff Goldblum, who you know as the... My God Almighty! Someone shot a gun.
No one shot a gun. It was the guitar feeding back.
Was the guitar? Oh.
Yeah. You're obsessed.
I don't know.
It was the guitar feeding back.
No, Jeff Goldblum, the Fly. He's going to be there.
Yeah. He's been in other stuff.
No, also the dinosaur. Let's keep going. Come on, hurry up.
And then Vogue. We gotta go. I'm gonna throw up. Norm MacDonald, everybody. Other people are coming up.
You know, what's still funny is Cleese.
Oh my God!
Hysterically funny.
No,
Eric Idle not so much, but boy, Cleese. They did a sketch when I was on Cleese and Palin. It was funny. Between dress and hair, they went to the museum.
Wow.
They're so smart, you know. Everybody else is hanging out. So, anyways, they did the parrot sketch and another sketch. So I'm running down to see them. You know, you can see them live in dress. You know, I mean, not dress
Yeah, I think because people either didn't know it or they knew it so well, it was like, cool, oh, they're doing it. I heard Lauren introduced me to Michael Palin once, and I felt, it was like the Bill Murray experience, where I'm like, everything I do is just like, like I saw you at 7, you know, like what do you say? And I was just like, hi.
Michael Palin, please don't applaud, we're short on time. Thank you.
And I'm John Cleese.
One of
my ex-wives died, you know, that it was very sad because it was the wrong one.
I tell you, until I met my wife, I always felt incomplete. Now I'm finished.
That.
My mother will be in a car and we'll be driving and she'll go, Ralph's. She'll just read words on buildings.
I'm 79.
Yeah. You're 79?
I don't look it, do I?
No, because my mother's 79 and...
She looks old.
Maybe that's the way it is with ladies and men.
I'm 79.
Yeah. You're 79?
I don't look it, do I?
No, because my mother's 79 and...
She looks old.
Maybe that's the way it is with ladies and men.
New songs on the radio sounding fake. Prince and Genesis for better anyway.
I had a moment of inspiration, and I'm telling you, Conan, it was the high point of my creativity, because she was, she's probably about 92, and it's not very much fun being 92, I think, because, all the people at the home are dying around you like flies, you're just sort of chatting to someone, and then you go up and get your custard and come back, and he's dead. I rang her up one day, and she was quite seriously, really giving me all the reasons that she didn't want to go on living. And, I felt helpless. I thought, what can I do? And I had this moment of inspiration. I said, Mum, I have an idea. And she said, oh, what is that? And I said, look, if you're still feeling this way next week, I have a friend in Fulham, and I could give him a call if you like, but only if you like. And he could come down and kill you.
Before I let you go, did you date Julia Roberts?
Listen, Dan, a feller doesn't...
No, dating doesn't, tell me anything other than maybe you went out and had dinner. Did you date Julia Roberts?
I've met her.
Have you kissed her?
Oh God, man! What kind of filth? What kind of filth is this?
Wait, look what you said earlier in this interview, and I'm filth because I said, "Did you make out with Julia Roberts?"
Oh my God! Now you see how you keep pushing it up. You keep wanting more.
I'll take that as a yes.
Nah, listen, she's a sweet lady.
Did you love her?
What?
Did you love her?
Are you? Pretty soon you're going to be asking me if I laid down with her. Good Lord.
Did you love her?
Oh my God! You remind me of?
No.
You remind me of a young, I don't know, a young Ring Lardner.
Ring Lardner. Oh, that's playing to my demo here. Come on, Noah.
You remind me of a young W.C. Hines.
Julia Roberts told reporters this week that her marriage to Lyle Lovett has been over for some time. The key moment, she said, came when she realized that she was Julia Roberts and that she was married to Lyle Lovett.
These days with your comedy, do you feel like you're walking on eggshells at all? Do you feel more like nervous about stuff you tweet and stuff you say just because of the climate we're in and everything that's happened?
Yeah, like we're going to go do stand-up right now. It's mostly trying out new stuff. You don't have the freedom to just talk and free associate and then, carve it back from there. Because usually the process would be you go way over the line, and then you bring it, and then people go, we hate you, and then you take away all the parts where they hate you, and then you're left with the stuff that's not, that's on the line but not over it.
Is your starting point a little bit more sort of tamer these days?
Oh yeah. It's very calculated and thought out. And
does that hurt your act though?
Yeah, it's way less funny.
Is that right?
Other than it being not as funny, it's wonderful. It doesn't hurt anyone's feelings anymore, but virtually no one laughs. So it's a trade-off.
But so that's really hurt your career in terms of the fact that you're you're an eggshell comedian, and I don't think like.
I'm an egg. Is that a new term?
I just made it up just now. Shouldn't comedy be some sort of sacred place where you're allowed to say whatever's kind of on your mind, and like if it's funny, then it's okay?
It used to be, you know, like Jerry Seinfeld always says, the audience will let you know.
Yeah.
You know, when it's gone too far, because they're a cross, you know, representation of the population.
Yeah.
But now it's not enough to get, you know, 99%. You have to get 100%. You know, most of the audience wants to be funny. Doesn't care about anything but that. They just want to escape.
Yeah.
But a tiny a group of people ruin it for everyone else.
And that's who you cater your performance to these days?
I cater my performance to a tiny group of people.
That's sad.
That hate me. You know, when I was asked to host the Canadian Screen Awards, I called my good friend Chris Rock, and I said to him, I've got some great news, Chris. I'm going to Canada. And he said, I've got some great news, too. I'm hosting the Oscars. What are you doing in Canada? And I said, you know, visiting some family, friends. The usual. Chris is very presentational, you know. And Chris talks about racial things, and
one person does something, they get canceled. Somebody else does the exact same thing, nothing. You know what I'm talking about. You know, like the kind of people that play Michael Jackson songs, but won't play R. Kelly. Same crime. One of them just got better songs.
See, there was a number of artists and people who, so for instance, Gary Glitter was caught doing inappropriate things, and his music career, you know, rightly sort of ended almost overnight.
Maybe.
Did you have, if it had been T-Rex who had committed those crimes, I still think.
No, because I have a theory. It's to do with the quality of the music.
Yeah.
See, with
Michael
Jacko,
Jackson.
we didn't wipe Jacko out from history because we didn't want to go to weddings and not have Billie Jean.
Exactly.
So it's sort of, if the music was better in the case of Glitter, I think we'd have all. I mean, it felt like the entire world sort of turned their back on the Jacko accusations, right, and just said, well, anything. He didn't start doing this pre-dangerous, so we can listen to everything.
Know the end of this day, nobody's gonna change. You won't ever leave. On my mind again, I'm still not tired of it. Can make you want me. And I might act okay, say things will stay the same. Say them all.
Right, Robert Kardashian helped to free O.J. Simpson, a black football playing murderer. Woo! O.J. Simpson killed 2 white people and got away with it. That's another kind of black excellence.
During a recent interview on 2020, longtime O.J. Simpson friend Robert Kardashian said he now believes Simpson may be guilty. Though he did add that had he believed O.J. was guilty at the time, he never would have agreed to hide his bloody clothes and knife. At his civil trial in Los Angeles this week, O.J. Simpson attorneys began their case with an attack on Nicole Brown Simpson's character. Outraged Brown family lawyers responded, quote, Nicole is a victim. No matter what she did, she certainly did not cut her own throat. To which Simpson's attorneys replied, on the contrary, that is precisely what we intend to prove. A down-and-out O.J. Simpson, depressed that all of his money-making ideas have failed, has decided to go back to doing what he does best, killing people.
You used to get stage fright, is that true?
Yeah. Bad.
How'd you get over it?
Attacks. Xanax. No, I actually I had incredible panic attacks. Now, panic attacks are different than anxiety attacks. Anxiety attacks, you just get very nervous. Panic attacks, impending doom. You actually think you're going to die. So I went one time. I had a panic attack immediately before Update, where I was doing live TV. So you can see it, if you look it up. And I'm just talking real fast, as fast as I can, because I want to get off, and just rushing through the jokes, and nobody laughs because I don't even let them. And then afterwards, Lauren was like, "What was that?" I was like, I was trying something different. And went to a psychiatrist, and ever since then, I've been gulping fistfuls of Xanax before a show.
That helps?
Oh, my God, it's helping right now.
You took a Xanax today?
Huh?
You took a Xanax?
He goes to a psychiatrist. Have you ever gone to a psychiatrist?
Yes.
What do they tell you?
Well, I've never gone for that particular issue.
Affliction?
But every time I've gone, I've been in great duress, just hot anxiety. You know what that is? Just like...
Well, I had panic.
Yeah.
Have you ever had panic?
Yes, I've
Panic
had
attacks?
Well, anxiety attacks. I've had anxiety attacks. Is it different than panic?
Well, panic attacks, you feel an impending death.
No, not impending death. I've been led to believe that anxiety is connected to OCD somehow.
Oh.
And
so you have some SSRI or whatever they're called?
Yeah, and they work just fine. But the psychiatrist, I would always go, I would cut in line to get to the psychiatrist because I would believe that my problems are far worse than anybody else's, with the exception of perhaps Adam.
They don't like jokes. I went one time, and I was in the Fifth Avenue in just some apartment, somebody's apartment building, and they made me go for gambling. And anyways, a lady was there, and she kept asking me this question. I'm joking. Oh, what about your father? I'm joking. She's like, enough with the jokes. So then I can't joke anymore. So now I'm just crying, and I can't. And then she's like, time's up. I'm like, no. Like, I'll pay anything. Let me say it. She's like, get out. And then you're in the cold New York with hot dog vendors, tears going down your eyes. They don't care about you.
No, and then you head over to the Queensboro Bridge.
Yeah, you get a little release.
Told me that we should go our separate ways, but now you're back. Live my life without.
I stumped a fucking psychiatrist once. I said to the guy, because I was fucking gambling all the time, shit, right? I had a gambling addiction. I'm over it now, but shit. But he said,
I bet you're not. That's a good one. He almost lost everything.
Oh, shit.
You haven't met Chip. Yes, Chip Chipperson is very funny.
But he said, the psychiatrist, he said, you're using gambling, you're fixating on gambling in order to escape your real thoughts, And I said to him, isn't that why you do everything in life? And literally, I stumped him.
He had no answer.
He was like, huh? And then he recovered and tried to make it. But isn't that why you do everything?
Yes.
So you're not sitting at home
just thinking
about
what was
what's
your,
really going to happen to us?
where it all ends?
Yeah. My first time I ever went to a psychiatrist, when I was a boy, I went to a psychiatrist in Vancouver, British Columbia, and I went 4 times. And I didn't go the 5th time because he committed suicide.
Wow.
So I read in the newspaper, all kinds of problems this guy had. He was in debt and embezzling and all this. And all I kept thinking was I wasted like 4 hours of his last life complaining about how I couldn't find a house.
Yeah, I wouldn't blame yourself for this.
No, I don't.
No, as long as we can have a good laugh about it now. That's all that counts, really, when you look at it.
Visitors to New York's Times Square this winter are in for a bit of a surprise. Crazy people will be shooting at them. Well, New Yorkers were asked in a recent survey what they thought of the new slicked-back hairdo Princess Di displayed on a recent trip to the city. 38% of New Yorkers approved, 45% disapproved, and 17% said, "You stopped me for this? Now I'm going to shoot you." Well, crime is down nearly 20% in New York City, with only 384 murders so far this year. Only 384? You know, if you ask me, that's still 307 too many. That's right. Finally in the news, what is America's most honest city? To find out, a team of sociologists left 10 wallets filled with cash on the street in various urban centers. In Atlanta, 7 of the wallets were returned. In Seattle, 9 of the wallets were returned. But not surprisingly, in New York City, only 1 of the wallets was returned. Empty and shoved up some dead guy's ass. Well, after a 15-year absence, the New York Yankees are back in the World Series. And some New Yorkers have come up with a novel way of snagging those hard-to-come-by tickets. Murdering guys with tickets and stealing them. Police in New York investigating the deranged homeless man who attacked a girl with a hypodermic needle have made a shocking discovery. He's Mickey Rourke.
I need your love. You free my mind. I need your love. Yeah, you free my mind. And still alive.
Everybody's bringing up these licenses for illegals and that they need to have them. And my question is, where are they getting the license plates? Obviously, we're letting them register vehicles without licenses. And in this day of car bombs and stuff, I don't know if that's a good idea.
Thank you, Dan from Boise. Norm, what's your feeling?
Well, I know that the New York Governor Spitzer, I'm trying to get to learn things, but he doesn't want to issue licenses to illegal immigrants, you know, and I don't know how the hell you're going to get a cab in New York City anymore. I mean, it's hard enough, you know, for me especially, as a black man.
I'm excited. Hey, it's... So much. Have a seat, Norm.
Wow.
You've been so nice of you to stop by, and you.
Well, I want to drop by, show my respects, you know.
Well, you know, for you to bring a basket commemorating sort of the tough situation I'm in is really nice.
Yeah. Well, that's not what that is.
Well, what is this basket for?
Oh, this is an older basket. I procrastinate, as you know, and this is a basket I got you back in June.
Wait a minute. Norm, you've had this basket since June?
Yeah.
I've seen you. You've been on the show like 3 times. Why didn't you ever give me the basket?
I keep forgetting it. But I wanted you to know I bought it. It was $60, and I wouldn't open it. I think it would smell. Well, there's a card also.
Yeah, I see that. It says congrats on it. That's terrific.
Oh, I don't know if can I read it?
Yeah, why not?
Congratulations, Conan, on finally securing your place as permanent host of The Tonight Show. That's something they can never take away from you. It is perhaps the shrewdest programming decision ever made by the NBC Brain Trust. Sure, the pressure is on, but if I know you, Conan O'Brien, miserable failure is not an option.
You are the new king of late night.
Thank you
Long
so much.
live the king.
Thank you.
I've been searching for what's missing, but the answer.
It's stunning how Jay Leno outfoxed you again.
Yeah, he's good.
I know. You think, like, everybody's like, oh, I'm Jay Leno. They do the voice and everything. Meanwhile, he's the shrewdest guy. He outfoxed. You're in good company. He outfoxed Johnny Carson, David Letterman. Every 10 years, some redheaded rube shows up. So that's the phone call you got.
Yeah.
Your agent's like, there's good news and bad news. You are doing the Tonight Show. It's true.
Mm-hmm.
But remember that discussion where you said, I'll never have to follow Leno again?
Yeah.
I said, I'll get myself a trainer, you know? And so I says to the guy, I says to him, my dad does that when he tells a story. He says, I says too many times. You know? Yeah. Because I says to the guy, I says to him, I says to him, So I says to the guy, I says, I never worked out in my life, you know? I've never really exercised. I had weights. I got them weights once, but they were really very heavy. You know? I was taking the airplane there, flying on the airplane. And I get on the airplane, so I got this character beside me, you know, sitting there with me. And he says to me, I really like you on the show there, Fred. Calls me Fred.
Fred.
So
3 days
I
ago.
fly back, you know, and I get on the plane. So I'm sitting beside this character, you know, and the guy says to me, he says, hey, I like you on the show there on the news. So I went there, and there was a homeless bum outside there. So the guy says to me, he says, can I have some money? They're always looking for money.
Oh, sure, yeah.
So I don't like to give them money on account of, you know, then I don't have the money.
Yeah.
And so he says to me, can I get some money off you? And I don't like giving the homeless bums money. I'll tell you why. Because I figure they'll do the crack. Right?
What did he say to you?
He said to me, he says, he comes to me and he shakes my hand. And he says to me, I see you're eating a pickle. You know? You know, so I says to him, John Neal, that's odd there. What's that pig? What's the story with that pig? You know? And I says to him, I says, what do you want? I can't serve you, you know? He goes, I don't want a drink, he says, you know? So he says to me, I work down at the University of Science there. So I says to the guy, logic. Now, what the hell is that? I never heard tell of that. I says to the guy, oh, yeah, you're one of them gays.
So then I says to Mabel,
Hi, kids.
I'll finish this later. Hi, Dad.
Where's your mother?
Out back. So anyway, I says to Mabel,
Says to the guy, right? I says to him, he's standing there, right? So I says to him, I says to the guy, get this, wait a second. I says to the guy, I says to him, he's standing right there, get this, right?
And then all of a sudden, out of the blue, Lauren says to me, That's the thing I wrote for Farley to do. I said, what if you did a thing where it was just a guy who says, he says to me way too often. So Farley would do it really funny. He goes, I met this guy and he says to me, he looks me right in the eye and he says to me.
When women talk about marriage, it's a happy occasion.
I'm getting married. I got my ring. I got my colors picked out. I got 4 of my fat friends to stand next to me. But it's not the same for the men. When men talk about marriage with our friends, it sounds like something you get diagnosed with. Did you hear what happened to Charles? No, what? He's getting married? No! You could go to nightclubs and meet women, but I don't like going to nightclubs. Everybody in the nightclub is a liar. The men are lying, the women are lying. You got older women in the club trying to look young, but you know they older because they got that vaccine mark on their arm.
There's a comedian that you remind me of. Do you know who I'm speaking of?
No.
He was my favorite comedian. He passed away a couple years ago.
Patrice O'Neal?
Patrice O'Neal. The reason I loved Patrice was he had his own truth, and he was going to tell you, and he wasn't going to take any prisoners. And that's a giant void to fill, Patrice O'Neal, because I felt he was the funniest guy in the world when he passed away.
I mean, did you watch the Charlie Sheen one?
Yes, yes.
And
I tell you what, sorry.
Well, what do you like? I mean, because like a lot of people were saying that was just it's there's no line whatsoever, and that it is something other than just being funny, and that it's gotten kind of just brutal and painful to watch.
Right. Well, yeah, like, cause, when we get interviewed as comics, like, people always go like, is there any line? And we go, no, but there's lines. Of course, there's fucking lines, Yeah. You're a human being, well, hopefully. But I remember they were talking about William Shatner roast. Artie told me this, that William Shatner's fucking wife had just drowned in a pool 3 months earlier, and they had to get all the comics together and go, look, no jokes about his wife drowning. And they were all like, fuck.
Yeah, what are we going to do now?
And I was like, what, did it even occur to you to fucking do that joke?
The guy's still wearing a black ribbon and his clothing is torn.
I love Patrice on that, though. Because I love Patrice.
Yeah, he's great.
And he did it. I never saw a guy that did the roast so good. Because he didn't do all that.
Well, I mean, that line is interesting because it's really a personal line.
Our next roaster is Patrice O'Neal. You may recognize Patrice from his many speaking roles in movies, but only if you've sat in front of him in a theater. I know, some of these jokes may come off racist, which is why it's important to remember that Rosa Parks fought so Patrice could take 3 seats on the bus. So please welcome a guy who looks like Chris Farley after a mine shaft explosion, the very funny Patrice O'Neal.
Thank you very much. It's just strange because I had all this planned shit, but I didn't know William Shatner was going to be quasi, like, an old racist man. Like, but everybody's giggling like, whoa, but you're a fucking asshole, Captain Kirk.
What are you talking about?
Like, I don't respect him, but like, I'll respect him because he's fucking Captain Kirk. But I think he might be racist because his hair plugs look like black girls' pussy hair. This is fucking amazing. Like, I wasn't gonna be mean to Anthony. I don't know him, I never met him. Like, so I'm sitting here watching him and I'm like, he has way too much confidence. Like, in my world, he's an open micer. Nobody knows him. And nobody should. Like, nobody should fucking know Anthony. I refuse to learn his last shitty name. I learned Galifianakis. That's the last shitty last name this nigga's gonna learn in this fucking funky town. He reminds me of a medieval restaurant waiter. Like, his old demeanor, like, hello, may I welcome to, and you just wanna go, shut the fuck up and bring me my giant turkey leg, you fucking nothing. How the fuck can I be too mean after all this shit? I can't believe it. I'm dying of diabetes, and you motherfuckers are like, oh, that evil fat puff, I consider Seth an icon, I do. Like, I got a critique about Seth. it's too much Seth. It's almost like he's jealous of his own creation, where he wants to prove I'm better than the cartoons. But he's not better than the cartoons. See, but I think the problem is with Seth is that he don't have a partner. You know, like the South Park guys or Hanna-Barbera. I know we've read that old story that Hannah once said, I'm bigger than Yogi, and Barbera slapped the shit out of him for saying that. Seth needs a Barbera to slap him and slap him twice. Once to say, hey man, don't forget why people love you. And two, just say you're gay. No straight man writes that many show tunes. That's a fact. I love Mike Tyson, and I don't have much to say. As a fan of Mike Tyson, I love him, and I don't mean, yeah, I love him.
Fuck you.
I love you, man. I'm just disappointed and hurt at how much comfort white people have around you now. I don't like it. And Steve-O, this new subdued, not drunk you, it fucking stinks, man. Ride that whole Steve-O shit till the wheels come off, man. Let a fucking leech bite your eyeballs and do some goofy shit. Even your fake puncher, you disturb me with your lack of edge. You just like, why are you still looking at me like that, Mr. Shatner, sir? You're like, boy, I had more for that nigga than I didn't say it. I should have said it, because he's an asshole.
You're telling it as it is. You're telling it like it is.
Jeff Ross, I love you, I guess. Look, Jeff Ross is a legend. His funniness is a legend. But when I say legend, I mean a myth. Like the Loch Ness Monster or Bigfoot. Like, we all believe they exist, but who really ever saw it? Oh, shit. I've turned down many roasts. I have, about 3 or 4 of them. And I said yes to this, and I'm dead ass serious. I said yes to this because I respect Charlie Sheen. I do. I say yes because I respect, not his body of work, like not. It's all been very Christian Slayer-ish. Like, it just like. He sucks, but he's good, but he sucks at the same time. I think that his stand that he made against the business, I think this is a fucked up business, but he stood up, he still survived, and he proved that nobody can keep like a Sheen down, you know? They can keep Estevez down, because his brother, and he's the good one. That motherfucker do everything right, and that nigga's career is over. Holy shit! Fuck Tiger Blood, he's selling his own blood to make money. But I want to say to your eyes, man, I love that you stood up to what you thought was wrong, and I'm impressed by you, and I wanted to say that. So, thank you, man. Thanks for having me. Y'all take care, thank you.
Are you still Canadian, or did you renounce that after 9/11?
What?
9/11, remember what happened?
You remember 9/11?
Yeah,
Which
it
one?
rings a bell. Yeah, which one?
The one in 1911?
No, the one that where the
plane.
Where they took down the towers?
Yeah, all the stories came crashing down. You know, a lot like when we tried to write on the Norm show. We couldn't. We tried to write stories, and they'd all come crashing down.
You know, I'm old enough to remember back to simpler, more innocent times
when the worst thing you'd hear about the news was hijacked jetliners flying into buildings.
Oh, now, Gilbert, you're going to get into trouble again. It takes forever, not forever, but it takes years of training to get a pilot's license. But it only takes a couple of minutes to steal a pilot's jacket and hat. And then do some, terrorist act, I guess.
Yeah, I guess I was not living because I was thinking it was going to be a terrorist.
You were worried about a terrorist act.
I was a little nervous.
Did you see Olympus Has Fallen?
No.
This week I learned, just because I masturbated to that picture of a guy falling to his death on 9/11 doesn't mean I have to share it.
Hey, for the 9th consecutive year, Nick, JetBlue Airlines ranked first for satisfaction among all North American airlines. But you know what ranked least in satisfaction? 9/11 Airlines. What a terrible name for an airline. It reminds me of that tragedy.
Oh, 9/11.
Yeah, don't laugh at 9/11
What?
again. 9/11. I tried to tell him not to laugh.
Adam.
I know. I walked through blood and bones in the streets of Manhattan trying to find my brother.
Jesus.
Yeah, he was in northern Canada. And you were the guy that was laughing and joking about it, like only 4 weeks ago when I told you my story about walking ankle deep in blood and bone to try to find.
Well, that's different. That was kind of funny.
I was
Yeah, that does sound funny.
Yeah, right? I was in New York.
Blood and bone everywhere.
You were
This is fine. This is fine for a fella that during 9/11, was in Costa Rica partying with his friends. I was walking through the blood and the bones
So you were put off by that, Jim?
in Manhattan. A little bit.
I can't believe you're right.
And I had to get new pants because of the blood and the bones.
Just now or back then?
Back then, I was ankle deep in blood and bones.
You went through the war, Norm.
Well, it was an attack on our country. Do you want to hear my impression of the
That's going to be you if you don't lose weight.
You want to hear my impression of the 9/11 call from Johnny Carson?
The 911 call.
Yeah, I'm sorry. But 9/11 was a national tragedy.
Yes, it was.
Why do you laugh at that?
You said it.
Johnny Carson died at 80 years old.
Okay, Johnny Carson died at 80 years old. Would you like to hear my impression? Were you in New York when the Twin Towers fell?
No, I was in Los Angeles.
Well, either way, it was a national tragedy. It was.
Yeah, I know.
9/11. We're going to go to hell.